Hey, welcome to the Nintendo Bros podcast. This is Pete,
And this is Derek.
and it's been a little while. I mean, it's been what, 2 years?
Something like that. Yeah, it's been a while.
So we're back. There's a lot has changed, but I mean, you can see some of our legacy podcasts from the Wii U days. Not as we've improved our recording quality. We have more to talk about, more games, more excitement, more news, and today we're talking about Smash Bros.
Yeah.
That's all you got to say is yeah. You don't have anything else to add?
Well, I don't know. I'm excited to talk about it. Talk about the characters, levels, stages,
Yeah,
music.
And yesterday in particular, there was a direct on August 8th. That was just a couple days ago. And it's probably, one of the best directs ever?
Yeah, I would say it's up there. I mean, unless you're counting E3, Smash Bros, maybe Brawl, or even Wii U announcement. But I don't know if those count as directs per se. But I would say that, yeah, this is definitely up there as far as a standalone direct outside of a game conference.
Those were years ago, though. I mean, those were five. I mean, if you're going to say the Brawl announcement was better, which it may have been, that was still how many years ago, right? 7?
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyways, why don't for those listeners out there who don't know, why don't you just give us a quick refresher on what happened, or how do you want to handle this? Do you just want to kind of talk through the direct, or do you want to? How do you want to do this?
I'm good either way. We can go through the direct, or we can go.
Well, I'll let you start. Let's go through the direct. What was new?
Yeah. So we start with the direct with the CGI cutscene of Luigi in a mansion, and he ends up getting killed, which I think we should talk about later because there's some interesting things to talk about as far as deaths go in the trailers that we've seen so far.
Yep.
And then Simon Belmont from Konami in Castlevania series got announced along with Richter, so as an Echo. Mm-hmm. So we have 2 Castlevania reps that come out in the series. First time for Smash Bros, which I thought was pretty cool.
So let's talk about Castlevania for a sec.
Sure.
I'm pretty excited about this. Most people thought this was coming. It practically leaked.
Yeah, with the music leak, yeah.
I think Simon Belmont looks awesome with the whip. It's a totally different style character.
Yeah, and another thing that's interesting to note is Sakurai specifically said that this character has the longest attacks out of any character in Smash Bros.
Outside of projectiles.
Yes, so we don't know whether that might actually deconfirm an ARMS character or an ARMS character in the base game, but it seems that he purposely noted that was the longest range character.
We'll talk about ARMS characters later, but the other thing I wanted to say is that CG trailer was great. I don't really know who Richter is. I don't know what Castlevania he's from.
Yeah, I mean, I barely even know Simon. I know Simon Belmont through name, but I haven't really played a lot of Castlevania games besides for the DS games. So some of those characters are not as familiar to me.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm a Castlevania connoisseur. I mean, I even know some people call it Castlevania.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't know if it's Vania or Vania. So my one friend calls it Castlevania. So he's not my friend anymore, anyways. So.
Yeah, so
he died.
So looking at the Castlevania characters and also the stage, I think is something we can definitely talk about because the stage is really interesting. There's a few tidbits as far as there's a lot of monsters or boss characters that kind of appear in that stage and video.
I mean, as far as enemies.
Yeah,
there was, and I mean. I was actually kind of surprised about that. I mean, to me, when I first saw all the enemies, my first thought was, is this a single-player kind of subspace emissary type of thing? You know what I mean? I mean,
yeah, it seems like they're all in the actual level as well, but I think it definitely gives a strong pointer to it actually being part of a single-player campaign or a single-player campaign actually being in the game.
Yeah, but I mean the level looks cool. There's a lot of throwbacks to the series, and I think if people are big fans of the series, they're gonna like it a lot. And it's almost surprising it took this long to do. I mean, you'd think Castlevania is a pretty mainstay series.
Yeah, but if you think about the third-party characters from the Wii U and 3DS game, like those are the heavy hitters. I mean, maybe aside for Bayonetta or the relevancy of Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, all those characters are huge names. Pac-Man, Mega Man.
No, I agree. I guess my whole point is I just think it's a good choice. It seems like an obvious choice.
Yeah,
it's
agreed.
good. It's a good fit, and I'm always down for more human characters. I mean, I know some people want to stick to the mascot cartoon style, but I mean, I'm happy with people like Snake and Simon and maybe Leon Kennedy and Nathan Drake and those types of characters.
Yeah, not so sure
happening.
about Nathan Drake, but
Kratos, Nathan Drake, Master Chief, they're coming. Okay. So, well, that was really exciting. I don't think it was unexpected. I thought that CG trailer was absolutely awesome.
yeah, it was definitely interesting. And I don't know if you want to talk about it now, but I think Luigi being killed is an interesting thing to point out. Do you want me to delve into that right now, or?
I know your thoughts on Luigi getting killed. Why don't you save that tidbit for later? Keep our readers, keep our listeners in suspense about what that's all about. So, what was next in the direct?
The next thing is Sakurai came on, introduced himself again, and then he showed off 2 Echo Fighters. The first being Chrom from the Fire Emblem series, and the second being Dark Samus from the Metroid series.
Okay, now let's talk. Anything exciting about that? How do you feel about that?
So I'm not I love Fire Emblem. I think they have enough representatives, especially now that this is another sword fighter. But Chrom was a very expected character. But what's interesting to know about Chrom is that he's an echo character of Roy, but he has moves from Ike. So he's kind of a mixed character. And I think that opens a lot of doors for other potential Echoes that don't have one-to-one movesets, but they can kind of mix and match to make more Echo Fighters.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. The one thing that we had mentioned was that, or talked about, is what really defines an Echo character. Because if you think about it, if Chrom is mixing movesets, does that not make him more of a unique fighter than, let's say, Dr. Mario? So, like, I guess there's that line of what's really an Echo fighter, and to me, I mean, we talked about it where we don't even really consider them Echo fighters. They're just similar fighters. Like, what's the point of even distinguishing between an Echo fighter and a regular fighter?
Yeah, I mean, Dr. Mario has his own moves, but I agree. There's such a blurred line between what is an Echo fighter and what isn't, because some Echo fighters are almost identical, like Richter and Simon, as we just mentioned. They have the exact same weight, power, everything. They just have different animations. Where if you look at Chrom, he has a totally different move than his Echo counterpart. So yeah, I really don't know what Sakurai really intends to, why he even labeled them Echo Fighters, unless it somehow relates to the single player that we haven't yet heard about.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is too, with a character like Dark Samus, I mean, I am a huge Metroid Prime fan. I love Metroid Prime 2, and I think that's a really cool character, but Dark Samus had a lot of unique moves in Metroid Prime 2 and 3 as a boss. I saw someone on the Reset Era post a bunch of potential moves for Dark Samus, and I mean, thinking that it's just going to be basically a clone of Samus with maybe a blue blaster versus orange, and like a moveset that's more blue focused. It's like that being it is a little bit disappointing. Like, I would like to see some sort of Dark Samus specific move,
Mm-hmm. It's interesting because the assist trophy of Dark Samus, I believe, in the Wii U game, she actually has moves where she has Phazon coming up from the ground and these unique animations, and I'm surprised that they couldn't somehow just easily put those in this game as a new move, because I think one of the only notable moves differences from Samus to Dark Samus is like her dodge roll, which is noticeable, but it's not like it's a big deal or anything.
So you've really broken down the footage here, right?
Yeah, I've broken down the footage, but I've also seen other people's analysis videos and kind of seeing the competitive level of Dark Samus versus Samus.
I see.
It looks like Dark Samus will be a better fighter than Samus, period, just because of certain, like, for example, the dodge roll is a lot more usable.
And I don't know if you notice is that Dark Samus's natural stance is floating.
Yes.
And
also,
that was, I mean, it's just a touch, but I think that's a really cool touch because it's creepy because that's what Dark Samus did in the original. But I mean, I'm just watching the clips now, and I mean, I don't really see anything unique about the moveset. I mean, there's a Phazon that kind of wraps around the blaster when she's firing, and her missile is Phazon inspired, and her hits kind of have Phazon, but there doesn't seem to be anything truly specific or unique about Dark Samus. So I mean,
Exactly, especially when they could have drawn from the assist trophy, which I think they should have done.
yeah, I mean, it's not like we've seen every single one of the moves, but I mean, even something like a down B move where you heal or something. Well, rather than dropping a bomb, like something a little bit unique.
Yeah.
But I am excited about Dark Samus. But I guess we skipped over Chrom here. I mean, the thing with Chrom is, I guess that's cool, but I did play Fire Emblem Awakening, one of the few Fire Emblem games I played, because I'm not a huge fan of the series. So I guess I would be someone who should be excited about that, but I kind of get the sense that every single Fire Emblem character, like, they don't seem to have that unique of personas. Like, I mean, Chrom to me is the same as who's the last one that got announced? You know what I mean? Like, is there really such a different personality between Roy and Ike and Chrom?
Do you mean like fighting style or personality?
I just mean personality. Like, I mean, them as characters have always seemed very bland to me. I mean, their fighting style is really what they are. I get that, but
yeah, I'm sure a lot of the hero protagonist characters in Fire Emblem kind of have the same, style of being a leader, confident, courageous, cares about everyone.
yeah.
But I'm sure the fans that are listening of Fire Emblem are definitely going to debate this and say, oh, if you listen to all the script of every character interaction with Chrom versus every character interaction with Marth, they're totally different. But yeah, I think to the average user, they see blue-haired sword fighters and they see a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Chrom just kind of landed like a wet towel for me. I mean, it wasn't that exciting. I mean, it's an Echo, so it's not a big deal, but this game is so chock full of Fire Emblem characters. What is there going to be about 9 now? 9 Fire Emblem characters in it?
I'm not sure it's quite that much. I think it might be 7.
Here, I can go to the website here and display by series.
It's 7.
And that's a huge representation. I mean, does any other series have that level of representation other than maybe Mario?
No.
Mario's got 8.
And
currently.
Zelda has 6, I believe. Pokemon has 8 as well, or 7.
Pokemon, it says 7, yeah. So I guess Mario has the most.
Yeah, but the thing is, Fire Emblem, 4 of those characters have very similar movesets, right? You have Marth, you have Roy, you have Lucina, and now you have Chrom. And they have slight variations, but ultimately, most of their moves are the same.
Yeah, we've got Marth, Lucina, Roy, Chrom, Ike, Robin, and Corrin. And then I believe Robin and Corrin have a gender swap.
Yes, because they're based off the main character, I guess, like the avatar.
I know what your avatar character type of thing.
Yes. So, yeah.
But so I guess in Fire Emblem Awakening, you had to play Chrom, and he was a male. Like, you couldn't be a female Chrom.
So I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe Robin was in the same game as Chrom.
Okay.
So Robin was the character that you played as, and Chrom was like the main character of the story, because so you just kind of follow Chrom in his story around, and you're like his best friend or his like tactician.
I see. Okay. Well, I mean, wait. Do we know that it's Chrom and not Trom or Chrome?
I think it's Chrom, but I'm not sure for sure. I don't think it's Chrome.
Yeah, there would be an E on the end.
Yeah.
I think my favorite Fire Emblem character is Roy, just because of that really nice red hair he's got. And he looks really good. I don't know if you've taken a look at Roy in this version, but he looks great. His character model looks better than it's ever looked.
Yeah, as far as character model, he looks good. But I think I might actually like Chrom as a actual fighter moveset, because I think I like Ike's up B, which is the one move they changed for Chrom, and I like Roy's moveset, so I think it'll be a better character. But when I watched this video, as you said, I wasn't that excited for Chrom. I think I was actually, again, more excited the fact that this opens the door for all these Echoes having varied movesets, because now we open the door to characters like Shadow, Ken from the Street Fighter series, Dixie Kong, Jean from the Bayonetta series. There's a whole bunch of characters where you can kind of throw in one different move and have an Echo.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about how many potential Echoes you can have later when we start to get to our predictions and dreams. But what do you think about the adjustable Echo Fighter menu, where you can have Daisy kind of show up on Peach's icon, or you can have a separate icon? Any thoughts on that?
I think it's a really cool feature for those that want it, but I think ultimately, I think every single person is going to want to put them on their own box, because I think everyone is just going to want to see a bigger menu of characters. I think it just is a more cool feeling when looking at Smash Bros. Character select. You just want a huge wall of characters to pick from.
Absolutely. I mean, unless Shadow makes it in the game, in which case he's hiding. He's hiding right
Yeah,
behind.
you're really
hiding.
against Shadow, eh?
I do not want Shadow in this game. I know the rumors will. Don't care about Shadow. But here's the thing. I mean, back to what we're talking about with the menu items. I think the menu items, if you're playing on your Switch, like on your handheld, you're playing undocked portably, that's going to be a real lot of characters on the screen. I mean, even think about the Wii U character select on that screen, and it's going to be very hard to make out these characters. And especially with 70 or however, what is it now? It's 7.
I think we're 71 or 72. Depends how you break down. Like I think the Mii fighters, but it's just above 70.
I don't think the Mii fighters will have 3 individual slots. I just don't. I don't think it'll be Mii. You'll see Mii fighter, Mii brawler, Mii sword fighter as 3 different slots.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think you pick the Mii character and then you select which Mii you're using, and that tells you what
Totally.
you are.
So I'm on the character select the website now, looking at the character screen. There's 67 characters, and I think we can safely assume there's going to be 70. I think they can fit 3 more in.
Yeah, I would say so. It's 3 more newcomers, like new movesets.
Oh, I mean, at least 3
Non-echoes.
Regardless of echoes or whatever, there'll be 3 other menu slots at least. I think we.
Well, when you look at the number of 67, that's not counting the echoes. The echoes have the epsilon beside them. So it's actually 71 right now.
Oh, man. Because, I just realized oh, my God. So it's already at what number, I guess? How many echoes are It's already over 70.
I believe there's 4 echoes, right, or 5 echoes right now.
So here's the thing. With so many characters, are you going to even be able to see the character select screen? Like, no game has ever had this many characters, I don't think. I mean, has any game ever had 70 plus fighters?
I don't know. I think Mortal Kombat 9 might have had quite a fair bit. But I don't know if it's 70 might be pushing it. But you know what?
I don't think that game probably had more than 40. I mean, come on.
But you have to think of it this way. It's going to have to work because think about the stage select screen, right? The stage select screen has 103 levels right now, and they have to be able to select each one of those. So I'm sure they've already thought about screen size and being able to fit it all.
Of course, they're not just going to break the game and not release it because they can't do it. But my thought is that maybe the character select screen that we're used to from Smash Bros. Is going to change a little bit. I was even thinking that maybe when you highlight over a character, like their icon gets bigger or something. You know what I mean? Or maybe they kind of make the 4-player section where you see your character a little smaller to make room for more character select, or a character select screen that scrolls up and down as you choose. Like I mean, there's just I don't even think that would work because when you play multiplayer, how can that work? So I have been thinking about, and I am curious how this character select screen is going to look when it's full.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not that crazy. Like, let's say right now, I know we have 72, and we had, I don't know how many it was in Wii U, 58. You can look it up if you want, but it's only adding an extra row, maybe a row and a half. I think it's definitely doable. I'm not too worried about that, and as far as the demos show, everything points to it just being a normal character select screen. So we'll see. I definitely agree there might be a worry if we get into the 80 kind of number, but I don't think we have that many characters left to reveal.
True, and you know what? If you think about the Wii U selection screen, I mean, there is how many characters are in the Wii U version?
I think it's 58 with DLC, something around there.
Okay, and I mean that fits pretty comfortable, and I think you could fit another 2 rows on there if you really had to. I mean, we'll see. I actually think there might be some sort of thing where when you have all the characters and the icons get smaller, hovering your little, your color ball, whatever they call it, your character's your choice's color ball over the character you want.
Yep.
We'll actually maybe just make that character a little bit bigger.
Kind of like the bottom of an Apple computer, like a Mac.
If you have Genie mode selected, I turn that off.
Yeah.
Save RAM. Anyways, let's move on. So Samus Chrome, that's cool. More echoes. They showed some levels after that in the direct. I mean, I had the direct kind of on silent playing in the background here as a reminder. I only watch it 8 times, so I need to. Now let's slow down for a second. Now there's this shot of Sakurai here sitting at his, what he kind of looks like he's sitting at a piano. I don't know if you get that feeling. Maybe it's because we never see his hands.
Yeah, at a desk. I don't know.
Now, can you believe that he's 48 years old.
I'm surprised he's starting to look even older to be honest.
Older than 48?
He used to always look so young and like that he never aged, but you can definitely see that he's starting to get older.
He's finally looking like he's graduated high school. He's finally maybe stopped getting ID'd at the liquor store.
I think his eternal youth is running out. Yeah.
But you know what? I don't think Sakurai needs to show his ID when he goes anywhere. People know who he is, right?
Yeah, I think he's like world famous.
I think he probably is the kind of guy, he walks into a restaurant and then people say, hey, you don't have to pay here. We'll get a table immediately. Let's take a picture of you, put it on our wall in black and white. You know how they kind of do in restaurants when celebrities
I don't know, though. You got to think about it as like how many famous video game developers are there or composers? Like not every single one of them gets free meals.
Well, that's game composers and designers, but I mean, I don't think Sakurai would be able to walk down the streets in a busy North American city. He'd get bombarded.
I guess so.
I think people would. Agree. Oh, I was kind of joking about that. I don't think he would get bombarded. It's a pretty small.
Not bombarded, but I think he would be recognized like just the same way Miyamoto would.
Not the same way. I don't think it's even close. I think Miyamoto's way more recognizable than Sakurai to the average person.
Okay, good point.
You don't think so?
Are we even on topic right now?
Well, should we change topic? Should we have another discussion one time where we just talk about how recognizable Sakurai is?
No, you
because I could probably talk about this for a few hours.
Oh my god.
Well, anyways, if I saw him, I don't think there's anyone in the world who I'd be more excited to see.
Yes, me neither.
And then the sad thing is, if I saw him,
Let's get back to Smash Bros.
I wouldn't even be able to say hi in it. He doesn't even speak English. Anyway, so no, my point here was that there's a little hint here. I don't know if you picked up on it, but behind Sakurai is two chairs. And these chairs, I don't know if you have the image in front of you. I do. It's a purple chair and a yellow chair, and I mean these colors are. It's uncanny how close they are to Waluigi's colors. I mean, that purple isn't that purple could have been any shade of purple, and it's almost exactly Waluigi's color of purple.
Yeah, but that's also both of Wario's colors, so it could just be just for Wario.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, some people think that might be.
If you want to go crazy, I could say something like, "Oh, the couch in the back is brown and green and sort of red, and that's I don't know, it's Skull Kid." You know, like
Oh wow, I didn't even think about that. Those pillows do look like a Skull Kid color. You should post a speculation video.
Yeah, I should.
Now, as a side note, did you see that guy's on Reset Era? This one guy posted a thread and he goes, "I'm really disappointed," or something. "I'm really disappointed in the in the Smash Bros. Direct." He goes, "I really want to see other games," and everyone's. I'm just like, give me a break. Anyways, let's move on. So what, you take the ball. What's next?
I think we're gonna look at stages next. So, I mean, again, this game is the ultimate game. So they're bringing back almost every stage. I think there's 17 or 19 omitted. There's like maybe 2 or 4 from each of the past games. But yeah, they're bringing a lot of old levels back that I'm really looking forward to. Some of the N64 ones especially that we haven't seen until this game. So, but what's interesting about this part of the video is that, or the thing that's probably the most open-ended, is Sakurai says there's 103 levels in this game. So people are curious whether that means 103 is such an exact number. Is that the total number? Are we done getting levels? Because then any new franchise reveal or character reveal isn't getting a stage. Or is he saying 103 just to kind of throw us off and there's a few more that are still coming down with character announcements?
I mean, when he announced the stage and it kind of broke the graph, I thought that was really cool. But 103 stages is... personally, I don't need any more stages than that.
I don't either, but I'm just saying if they announce a new character or even a third-party character... Are they gonna not give them a level? And then there also raises that huge question of, I think his name's Rathalos. From Monster Hunter, that character looks like it, or that monster looks like it's on its own stage, but that stage isn't in stage select. So, where is that coming from? It could be part of the single player, or it could be a brand new stage that's not actually announced yet because they might be announcing a Monster Hunter character with that stage. So that kind of leaves the door open too. And also on the character select screen, there is about 6. Slots at the bottom that they could fit 6 more levels in.
Yep.
So It just kind of is interesting that Sakurai specifically said the number 103, and if you take away Final Fantasy and the two battlefields, you have an exact 100, which is kind of nice.
And to cut you off there, I think it's safe to say there will be more stages, just because it seems like new characters come with new stages usually, like the Castlevania stage. So, I mean, I don't
unless there's no character with a new from a new franchise, because I don't think they necessarily need to make a new level for a character that's already in a franchise in the game.
Yeah, that's true. And on a side note, it would have been awesome if they did have a stage for Dark Samus, like a Phazon or a Planet Phase, just kind of like blue with like our creatures running in the background, or the Ing from Metroid Prime 2 in the background. Like there could have been some really cool. I'm a huge Metroid Prime fan, so I think that would have been really cool. Anyways, I'm looking at the character select screen, and it's interesting to note there's actually only 4 new stages in this game.
Wait, the stage select screen or the character stage?
I'm on the stage select screen on the website, and you'll notice there's actually only 4 new stages.
Yeah.
There's New Donk City, there's Great Plateau Tower, there's Moray Towers, and there's Dracula's Castle. And other than that, everything's coming back.
That's why I think, again, if you look at every other past game, they've added more than at least 4 new levels to a game. So I just can't imagine there only being 4 new levels made. I understand they've remade a whole bunch of levels, so that takes work too. But I just would be shocked if those last 6 spots in the stage select aren't filled.
I agree.
I think it's just ridiculous if they didn't.
I agree, and you know what I gotta say, I was looking at some of these levels the other day. I mean, we talked about there is actually Pokemon floats. Sorry, not Poke Floats. There's Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2 is in there.
Yes.
But I was looking through some of the levels the other day, and some of the graphical upgrades, if you look at the pictures, are pretty crazy. Like, I mean, if you look at Corneria, the backgrounds. I mean, we haven't seen Corneria since Brawl, and they've really redone the backgrounds. Same with Venom.
Are you sure Corneria wasn't in Wii U?
It was on the 3DS version. It's my favorite stage, so I was disappointed.
Yeah, it's up there.
The other one that is Venom looks really much improved. Like the backgrounds in Venom are great, and I mean even if you look at Delfino Plaza, they've upgraded everything. And Fourside, have you seen Fourside?
Yeah, Fourside looks great.
Like these are stages that haven't really been shown or featured in directs too much, and they really look upgraded. Yeah,
and some of the 3DS levels too, especially for just resolution wise, like you can actually see a lot more detail in the background and in the playable area. Just looks way better.
Yeah, like the Link's Spirit Tracks level looks really good.
Yeah, and even the N64 levels, like they're still very polygonal, just to keep with the theme or the style of the N64 game, but all those look really good too.
Yeah, I mean the courses look great, and there's 2 Sonic levels.
Yeah,
Windy Hill Zone and Green Hill Zone. I mean, couldn't have found 2 more similar looking stages for Sonic, but anyways, I will say something back to your point about the Monster Hunter stage, was that I thought that level looked awesome.
Really? It was just a flat stage.
Well, I like some of those levels. Like I really like, one of my favorite levels is Bridge of Eldin. And
okay. Yeah.
I don't know about you. I love that stage because it's so big that there's not much there's no platforming and silly platforming involved in staying alive. It's really just you got
except when the bridge blows up. But yeah.
When the Bull Rider comes out
and the bridge blows up. But yeah.
True, but I mean, the hazards will be turned off for me mostly.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know they have the Battlefield and they have the Final Destination version. I don't know if this is possible, and it's definitely not happening. But I wouldn't mind a totally flat version, like an infinity flat version. You know, because I really like levels like On It, or not On It, like On It, yeah, On It, and
you like walk-off levels.
Yeah, Mario Galaxy. Like, there's a couple of them like that are.
I'm surprised you like those. I would say most people don't like those levels.
Really, they like the floating platform version.
Well, there's so much, especially in the competitive scene. There's so much to ledge guarding and the game, like guarding a ledge and protecting the ledge and being off the stage. That to never have that problem and to be able to, you know, it's very easy to hit someone on the ground off the stage now. Where when you could hit them off and they could fall and jump, they had a little bit more safety to come back on the stage and ledge grab.
I agree.
I don't know. I disagree. I think those are the worst levels. But again, if you want that level, just turn stage hazards off and go to Elden Castle and Elden Bridge and do whatever you want.
Well, you know what? It's one of those things where there's basically 3 types of levels, right? There's one that's on some sort of platform, whether it's moving or changing. There's ones that are flat, like these Bridge of Elden, Mario Galaxy levels. And then there's the ones that are scrolling or moving. To me, the scrolling and moving ones I don't like them at all. Like
I don't know if are there any scrolling ones still in this game.
It's called Mushroomy Kingdom.
Oh yeah, and even the terrible Pac-Man level that they kept in the game.
Yeah, I mean there are definitely a couple levels in here that are just complete throwaways. I'm surprised they brought Mushroomy Kingdom back, considering, as you noted, they cut out 2 of the other scrolling levels, the DK scrolling level and the Ice Climbers.
They've cut out the vertical scrolling levels as far as I can tell, but most of the horizontal ones are back. Even Rainbow Cruise is back in. The Pac-Man level's back in.
I don't mind Rainbow Cruise because it's a fun.
Yeah, it works. I agree. But
nostalgia.
To me, the worst choice they made was to put the Pac-Man level that looks like someone drew it by their own hand.
The Pac-Man level I never quite understood. I mean, I think that's from some old arcade Pac-Man, but I mean, to me it looks disgusting.
But why get rid of Pac-Maze, which was an awesome level? Right? The level that actually was the Pac-Man maze. They taken that one out, which I think they should have put that one in and taken this one out.
Yeah, I find Pac-Land to be definitely my least favorite stage. It looks like someone made an MS Paint.
Yeah, it's not good.
No, it's not. I mean, and to be honest, I don't really like any of the retro levels. Like, I don't care for Balloon Fight. I don't care for Kirby Dream Land. I don't care for Mario Bros. 75 meter.
I don't mind the Duck Hunt level. I think because that one's more or less just a flat stage, especially if you turn stage hazards off. I don't know if there are stage hazards in that level. But yeah, I agree. Most of the retro stages are bad. I don't mind the flat zone, the Game & Watch levels, just because I think they can be fun in a party setting. But
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I agree. Most retro levels aren't that good.
I mean, if there's any retro level, I mean, technically they're all retro levels, right? Because it's retro or nostalgic. But my probably Mute City SNES is one of my. I'm happy it came back. It's like you feel like you're just been dropped right in the game. You know what I mean? And I love F-Zero, and I'm glad that there's a couple F-Zero levels now, right?
There's Big Blue, Mute City. They got rid of Port Town or Port City or
no, Port Town Aerodive is still in there. But
they got rid of one of the 2.
You're right. I think they got rid of one of them. But Port Town kind of replaced it anyways. But yeah, anyways, I'm happy with the character select screen. There's a lot of great levels.
Stage select screen.
Did I say character?
Yeah.
Yeah, stage select screen. Now, there's a couple things missing. Are you disappointed about any of the old stages not coming back?
I'm not disappointed because I mean the old ones I got used to them not being there, and the newest ones the Wii U I didn't play as much as I probably could have on those different levels. The one I really wish they did put back is Woolly World for Yoshi's level.
Yeah,
just because it was a good level. It looked nice and it was well made.
I'm actually really surprised it's not coming back. They brought back the other Yoshi's Island, which looks really cool. I don't know if this is a new style, but it looks like hand drawn with a little bit of it looks really good now. It looks. I don't know if they've updated this new Yoshi's Island stage, but it looks great. It looks kind of charcoal, like a pastel-y, like the original. But I was disappointed that Woolly World was not coming back because that was definitely a cool stage, and I loved the way that the stage kind of mushed as you moved on it, like you were kind of standing on a beanbag.
Yeah.
A weird one not to bring back, and the other one that I thought was strange not to bring back was the Donkey Kong Country Returns. I mean,
with the foreground background fighting.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's already done in HD. Like, would it be that hard to bring in? You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean.
We don't know. I mean, really, this game is ultimate. We don't know if in DLC Sakurai says, "Hey, we're also adding in the past 17 levels that we didn't make."
Yeah, true.
They could not put them in simply because they're constrained for time.
Or my theory that they introduce Yarn Yoshi as an Echo Fighter, And when they introduce him, they also show his level.
Let's talk about those in dreams, because I think that's a huge dream. That's a dream.
Yarn Yoshi is such a dream. Yeah,
I think it is.
Last thing, a couple more things about the stages before we move on. I looking at the Paper Mario stage here that was on the 3DS version. It looks great. Like they redid this one to look a lot better on Switch. It's like they took what they knew from Color Splash for Wii U and made it look like an HD. I mean, it looks awesome. I mean, the more I see Paper Mario in HD, the more I want an HD Paper Mario.
I know. As far as hopes, that's the character I want in Smash Bros. So it'd be awesome if they put him in and then gave him another level. Cause I
totally.
think, yeah.
I mean, you've seen Color Splash? I never bought Paper Mario Color Splash, but
me too. It looks really good though. As far as like graphics,
looks incredible. I mean, the gameplay, nope. I can't get behind that card battle system. Not happening. I know some people like it, but anyways, so out of these 4 new levels here, New Donk City, Great Plateau, Moray Towers, and Dracula's Castle, which one are you most excited about?
I'm gonna probably say either the Tower in Zelda or Moray Towers. I think New Donk City is cool, but it's similar to a lot of other levels where it's just you're a platform moving around the stage and different platforms appear when you stop at a certain location. There's quite a few of those.
It's like the Super Mario Sunshine.
Or even the Skyward Sword level, if that's back. Skyloft.
Oh, that's not back, is it?
I think it is, actually.
I'm not seeing it on the character select screen. I wish you could organize by series.
I think it is on the character select screen. It's 3rd row from the bottom, far left.
Still don't see it here.
Are you looking on it on the website or on the video?
On the website.
Oh, I'm looking on the actual video of
okay,
the
well,
actual character.
If you tell me it's there, I trust you.
I'm sure Skyloft is there because it's part of the next thing that Sakurai talks about, which is switching levels, right? He like the 2 morph levels, he actually morphs into that level. But so that's why I'm not that excited for New Donk City, and also it basically deconfirms Captain Toad. And the Castlevania level, I think, looks cool, but the thing is, I'm not a big fan of all those stage gimmicks, and it looks like that level is primarily interesting because of the stage gimmicks. I don't know if the actual level design is that interesting in the Dracula's Castle. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Zelda or Splatoon level.
Now, yeah, I mean, I agree. The Moray Towers. Moray Towers looks cool, but it looks a little bit too stacked for me. I think it'll be good for the Inkling, but I'm not sure. I think some characters will really suffer on that level. Mm-hmm. I mean, if a character's got a strong up B attack or an up attack, that's really gonna screw people, on that level.
Yeah,
I think Great Plateau Tower is definitely my most excited stage. It looks awesome. I love how rich the background is, and hell, it's from my favorite game of all time. So,
yeah.
I gotta say, New Donk City. When I first thought or imagined a New Donk City, because it seems like the obvious choice, I kind of pictured it being more of the city. And this stage is actually not New Donk City; it's New Donk City Hall. So it's just focusing on the city hall.
Yeah, but I wish you at least you were fighting on the city hall. It seems like you're just literally fighting on a platform that goes around it. It's like, it's okay to fight on buildings as we see from a level like 4 side. Why don't they put us on the building?
Yeah, and I think I would have preferred something more along the lines of 4 side.
Yeah, me too.
Just and with stuff going on in the background. I mean, I don't.
But the one thing
always my cup of tea.
The one thing I will say to that level though is the music is great. I love that Mario song they put in Super Mario Odyssey, and I'm glad they're putting in that level
with the lyrics.
Yeah,
that's great.
Jump Up Superstar, I think it is, or something like that.
I mean, overall, I'm pretty happy with the actually, I'm extremely happy with the stage selection.
Me too. I have no complaints. It'd be nice to see some more new levels too, but I have no complaints if that's what it is.
And you know what? Now that I just thought about this, maybe I know they've organized it in such a way that it's from the earliest stages to the latest stages in the series. Mm-hmm. But maybe they should give us alternate options to organizing our character and our stage select screen. I mean, with so many characters and so many stage select, why not have a different style of organization? I mean,
well, for character select, there is you can I believe organize character by the game that they're in. I think you can.
Well, you've never been able to do that before. I don't remember hearing about that.
I know, but now I think that was something I have to watch the E3 Direct again, but I believe he actually did say you can organize them both by the order that they appear in and the series.
I would like to know about that, and I think that would be an awesome idea, and I also think that was what they should do for the stage select as well, so I can very quickly see, okay, which Mario stages are there? Like oh, my little nephew loves Mario. Let's look at the Mario stages without me just like trying to look around this huge screen. You know?
See, I'm the opposite because I like how it is. I like having the option. Want to have the option, but I like this way better for the stages because I like to go through the time and history of saying, oh, I want to go play an N64 level that is a little more, blocky and polygonal, or oh, I want to go to the Wii U levels and have some crazy, boss fights and hazards in it. It's like you can kind of pick based on the history of when the levels come in.
And I'm with you. I just think it'd be cool if in the corner of the stage select you could press X and it would instantly reselect. Because I mean, there's different times, different feelings, right? Like let's say you're playing a Ridley and I'm playing Samus, and I really want to go to a Metroid level. And when I look at this stage select screen, it's going to take me a little bit of time to even find those levels. And I know this is a very specific nitpick. But it's not necessarily a problem. I just think it'd be a neat feature if I wanted to say, hey, like let's play through every Mario stage. Let's play through every Metroid stage.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And speaking of Metroid stages, I really like the stage they brought in. Norfair and Frigate Orpheon
and Brinstar Depths is back.
Brinstar Depths. So I think those are the three, right? Just those three, or is there Pyrosphere as well?
Pyrosphere is there. I'm not sure if it's called Pyrosphere, but yes.
So it's those three, and I've got to say I like them.
There's four.
Oh, Brinstar as well.
Yeah.
I think that they could have chosen another Metroid level that maybe gives a little bit more visual variety, because they all kind of fall into that dark lava style, like the kind of you're in a cave with lava.
Well, I don't think Frigate Orpheon does, but I know what you mean.
Frigate Orpheon does not. You're right. That's from Metroid Prime. But I mean, it'd be nice to have one that's in the Chozo Ruins or Talon Overworld.
It's a little more green.
Phendrana Drifts, something from Metroid Prime 2. Metroid Prime 3, I don't care. The environments in that game are not as memorable. Maybe Cloud City. Is that what it's called in that game?
I don't know. I haven't played 3 in a long time.
I mean, something that...
A little bit different than lava. I know what you mean.
I mean, it'd be really cool, like I said, if you went to Phase and it was all in blue and you saw the Ing in the background. Or imagine one that went from on Planet Aether and went from Light World to Dark World, and then you had Ing coming in and you had to fight them off. Like, there's so many cool ideas. But I guess that's what Smash Bros. Is all about. It's an infinite pool of ideas.
Yeah, I'm sure if we thought about any franchise, we could think of 10 good levels for any franchise.
Yeah.
Right? If we think about Zelda, it's like, think of how many different levels we could think of that would be good for Zelda.
Yeah, so many. I mean, there's no dungeon levels, and there's a lot they could do.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the only series that's actually fully represented is Mario.
Yeah, because they go through the whole history of it.
It's basically, you have over a dozen Mario levels here. I mean, including Mario Kart, including Galaxy, including Sunshine. I mean,
I don't know. I think Zelda's pretty good. I mean, maybe it doesn't have a dungeon, but it represents almost every game too, right? What game isn't really represented in Zelda?
Well, Zelda, you have Termina, Hyrule Castle, the original Hyrule Castle,
Skyloft, Elden Bridge, and Great Tower, and the Pirate Ship.
That's true. Actually, there is a lot. There's a lot.
They don't really have an old school level, but still, it's quite good.
And there's no lava world level, no snow or lava areas. And you know what? That's one thing I should note is there's not a lot of snow levels. I'm just looking at the overall map, and there's a lot of green, warm feeling stages, but there's not a lot of snowy places.
There's not a single snowy place.
Well, there's the Ice Climbers and there's Shadow Moses. So those are the two that I would consider snowy. But there's definitely room in this lineup for a Phendrana Drifts or I don't know. I guess there wasn't really a ton of snowy areas in Breath of the Wild, but maybe they pull something from Majora's Mask, like Snowfall Mountain.
Even go to SNES and do like Ice Palace or something.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of grassy levels. There's not a lot of snowy levels, but these are things that I can't blame them for overseeing, because there's just such a huge amount of content here.
Yeah.
Street Past Quest is back.
And same with Finding Me or whatever it's called, the Me one where it's like they're trapped in a cage.
Yeah, that's Street Past Quest. It's called.
Oh,
And I mean, for me personally, I find Street Past Quest and PictoChat are completely useless. And things that, considering considering these are features that aren't even part of the Switch anymore, but were features in the DS and 3DS, it kind of just, to me, it kind of enforces the fact that the Switch has no OS features. So it's like, hey, let's play on PictoChat. This is cool. It's something that they've removed. They don't have anymore. I figure that's why they got rid of the Miiverse stage, because they don't have Miiverse anymore.
see, I still like PictoChat as a level, regardless of that. I think it's a cool level.
Yeah, I guess you're right. And I to be honest, I have a very vague memory of Street Pass Quest because I didn't play the 3DS version nearly as much as the Wii U version.
Yeah.
So a lot of these 3DS stages coming back, I'm slightly excited to play, to see them remade, but some of them I'm a little bit confused, like Tomodachi Life and Street Pass Quest.
Yeah, that one is brought back.
I just don't have a passion for it, but I'm really excited to play like Prism Tower and Magicant and Arena Fox.
I think the Spirit Tracks level looks cool too.
The Spirit Tracks level is probably my favorite one coming from the 3DS.
Yeah.
That I'm excited to play. But anyways, I mean, amazing stage selection. We've talked about stage selection now for what, an hour? So maybe we should move on.
15 minutes, yeah.
Yeah. All right. If we haven't lost you, listeners, keep on the train. So 300 plus stages. That's an amazing number.
Yep.
Available for eight players in every stage, it says.
Yeah, that's I think is really cool. Because the Wii U didn't have very many 8-player levels.
No, and the thing is, the Wii U actually had an update that allowed more 8-player levels, and the 8-player levels actually, some of them were tweaked.
Oh,
I don't know if you know that they were bigger.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I believe they were tweaked, and there's that one like Kirby one. What is it called? The Great Cave Offensive.
Oh yeah,
I hate that level.
I think that's coming back, isn't it?
It is, and I hate it. You know what I used to do on Great Cave Offensive? I'd have a friend. It'd be me and him on a team against 6 Pokemon against us in that level, and it'd be kind of like, we call it extinction. So we'd try to wipe out all the Pokemon, but
Yeah.
I feel like 8 stages 8 player on every stage sounds a little crazy. I mean, if you're playing some of these stages like WarioWare or Pilot Wings or moving platform stages, I think are just going to be absolutely crazy. Especially considering I play so much undocked multiplayer. So I mean, when I bring my Switch to the office and all 8 of us gather around, that's going to be really hard to see. I'm just kidding.
I don't think 8-player undocked is going to play.
Though, I'm sure somebody will, and I'm sure someone will take a picture of it, and it'll become a meme.
Yeah, probably.
So then they had the stage hazards turning on and off, which is something I know fans have been asking for a couple decades now.
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I mean, I saw some speculation on Game Explain. They thought that you might be able to select different stage hazards, like turn this one on, this one off, this one on, this one off, which I thought was a really interesting idea, but it doesn't look like that's the case.
I think that's almost too much work. I mean, people are not really going to want that. I think either people are going to have the crazy antics, or people are going to want to play competitive level, no antics. To be able to choose each one, I think is just overkill.
That's a bit overkill. I mean, you can select your weapons too, so there's ways to like make it crazier or turn Smash Balls off and make it less crazy. So I mean, you could have no Smash Balls, no items, no Pokeballs with stage hazards on, and it'll be a little more manageable.
Yeah.
I think that there's certain stages like the Mega Man stage, not one of my favorites, where they have now said they're going to include the 3DS and Wii U boss versions, I think.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
And I think people were maybe speculating, well, can I have one and not the other?
Oh.
Just a thought here. Is that stage coming back that, the stage that had Ridley as a boss before?
I believe that was taken out.
That was taken out. Okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, stage hazards off. That's good. What else is there in this direct? I'm just going through the director. What's
there's music. Lots of music. Though two things I personally I find interesting about the music select, besides there being so many songs, is one, when they showed the video and went through all the different franchises' music, there's 2 mushrooms. So that's what I find really interesting. So that means there's 2 different categories of Mario music. So maybe some levels have one set of songs and some levels have the other set of songs. I don't really know why they separated the 2, and also just how few songs the Final Fantasy franchise got. If you look at Castlevania that just got announced, I think it has something like 34 songs.
Yeah,
and Final Fantasy has 2. So
I know, I saw that. I think that might have to do with the just licensing issues.
Yeah, I agree. But anyways, I'm still really curious about the 2 mushrooms as far as what that means.
Now, there is a disgusting amount of music in this game. Perhaps the most music that's ever been in a game ever.
Yeah.
28 hours,
Different songs for sure. I don't know about lengthwise, but yeah.
Well, I don't know any other game that has 28 hours of music.
Well, I think a lot of this is it's like just a track that loops, right? It's not like it's, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess, but still a crazy amount of selection. And I really like your ability to change your settings. Like you can, make some. I like all the stuff they've done with the music. I even like the fact that you can put your Switch into sleep and still listen to music. I think it's a bit silly, but it is really cool. I mean, you could just pop your Switch out and plug a little speaker in and put some music on. It's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, I like everything they showed on the music thing. I have no complaints there.
And the sorry, just to cycle back to stages for a bit.
Back to more stages.
We didn't talk about stage morph.
Oh, stage morph. Okay, yeah.
That to me is one of the most crazy features that blows me away.
I think it's really cool, and I think it'd be awesome for, again, it's kind of a antics. I just don't think it'll never be used seriously. That's my opinion.
But I'm not competing seriously.
But not even competitively. I just think even the people that aren't competitive but like to, have no items, I don't think any of them will use stage morph.
That's true. I mean, I think when I first play it, I'll probably turn on just to see more stages. I don't know if I can go stage morph random.
I personally like, random is just random time, right? You only pick 2 levels. But I think that.
Okay, can you not do random level select on 2?
No. You pick 2 levels and then you pick the interval. A time interval. So it's either randomly it changes or every minute it changes. That's at least what I understood from the video.
Okay, yeah, but you can change it from minute to longer. Your stage morph options are off, random, or every minute. But what I'm saying is that when you go to choose your 2 stages for stage morph, you can choose random stages. Do you know what I mean? You can.
I don't think you can choose more than 2 though.
No, you can't. But what I'm saying is, when you go to the stage select and you don't know what you want to choose, you go to random.
Yeah.
Or you go to the menu, say no stage select, just go to random stages. I think when I first start playing this game, just to experience all the levels, I'll probably just turn that on random. And so every fight, I'm at least seeing two stages.
See, I'm the opposite. I'll do it very systematically. Like when I first play, I will make sure I only do 1 level at a time, and I'll go down the list, starting with the oldest levels, and just go one by one by one.
I mean, except for 75 meter, I'll be skipping that one.
And Pac-Land.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Pac-Land is disgusting. I think if they demoed Pac-Land to people who never played this game, they wouldn't ever want to play it.
Yeah.
But the stage morph thing blows me away, and I think one of the changes that they're emphasizing is this choosing the stage before choosing your character.
Yeah.
And I think that's interesting because, I mean, for one, they've been saying it's to allow you to choose your character based on the level or stage. But I also think it has to do with loading, where when you've chosen a level, it's loading the background. And if you've ever noticed, this is something that was broken down in older Smash Bros., specifically Wii U, is that if you quickly rush through the character select screen, if you quickly rush through that and choose a level right away, it actually loads a little bit longer than if you take your time choosing a character. Just because it's loading some sort of background stuff, I don't know. And I imagine it's the same here, where if you quickly choose a level and quickly choose a character and rush your way through the menus, you'll have to wait a little bit longer for that match to load. But I think the fact that you can choose a stage first now, it's probably loading in the background while you're choosing your characters, and that I imagine that greatly improves load times.
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
The fact that they can load 2 levels in is really impressive to me. Like that's so much. That's just so much, and I imagine that maybe it has to do with the fact that this game's not running on a disc, and there's no hard drive. It's running on a solid state media. So I mean, the load times on Switch are fast. They should be fast. There's no reason. I mean, if the data's cached properly. I mean, I'm not a huge tech guy, but just based on what I know, I'm hoping that it sounds like the load times are probably going to be better in this game than we're used to, maybe with Smash Bros.
Yeah, I hope so. I also, again, from the other point of level select, I like picking a level before character. I think it's a good idea. Even forget the hardware in load time, but I just like that as far as a gameplay.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so what's next here after music?
We got game modes. Want to talk about Squad Strike and Smashdown?
Sure. So what do they talk about first here? They brought rules.
I don't know. They talk about a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay, well, look, it says create your own rules. That looks like it's the same as before. So let's talk. Okay, so squad mode. This is something that when I first
Squad Strike. Yeah.
Squad Strike. Something that when I first heard about, I got really excited, but now there's been some discussion over what exactly it is. Now I'm on the Squad Strike screen here, and just as a side note, it is cool how any characters you select, you kind of get this sideways pose out of them. I don't know if you noticed that. So I guess every character has kind of a sideways pose.
Oh, I disagree. I think that's just
The character model probably.
those are already there. Are you talking about when it says 3v3 and 5v5?
Oh, I thought that meant someone had chosen those 5.
No, I think those are just like the automatic characters that are always there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, here's the thing. See, to me, I've always, for the last decade, I've really wanted a tag team mode in Smash Bros. Like a mode where you can choose your 3 best, you choose your 3 best, and we go at it. And when I lose one, I go to the next one, or perhaps I can tag one in and out as I see fit. So something like that, to me, is something that Smash Bros. Has needed for a very long time, because it's a series where it's not about choosing your best one person and being amazing with your up B and Link, like some people are. It's more about your skills across a variety of different playstyles and characters.
But that's what I think Squad Strike is. I just think it was implemented. I mean, I think that's what Squad Strike was trying to do, is to get you to play multiple characters in a multiple character versus multi-character battle. But I think it was just not implemented the way that you wanted or I wanted. 'Cause I agree. I like the idea that you present, and I hope that they did that. But I think they just put this in for the same reason. They just didn't think it all the way through.
Well, just to clarify for our listeners here, my thought was that it's a single battle. So when you go into a battle, you choose a stage, you go to that battle, and you have your 3 or your 5 fighters, and that's all one battle. And once I defeat your first fighter, you go to your second fighter, and so on. And what you're saying is you think that when if you choose 3-on-3, we go to one individual stage, have one battle, and then once it's over, then we go back to the menu or something, and then load a whole different fight.
Well, I think it's going to be the same map, and I think it's going to be basically, if I pick 3 and you pick 3, it's going to be our first versus our first, and if I beat you, then it's going to be my first versus your second, and then my first versus your third, and my second versus your third. So basically, if it's the 3v3, it's actually a best of 5. And every time a match ends, the winner keeps that character going. Because as far as other squad battles in other games, and squads, and like even squad battles in professional games, right? There are team squad battles in professional games.
Something they emphasized here too about saying you can play on a team.
But that's exactly how they do it. They do it so one player, they call it sweeping, one player can sweep the entire other team. Right, so if you're the first player on your lineup and you played Link and you whooped the other team, you swept their team. And there's also reverse sweeps where if the last player on your team ends up beating the entire other team, they reverse sweep.
That'd be awesome. I mean, I think it's safe to say that there's no tag in and out. Like I can't just tag Link to Mario and switch. Like it's not a tag mode.
No.
that probably would have gotten really complex. But I do really think that, let's say if it's I mean, I don't know if it's elimination stock and we each get 3 stock per character. And if I take 2 of your stock away, I have a feeling that when my next fighter comes on, you still only have 1 stock left.
I disagree. I don't think it's.
You
like
think
that.
you'll go? You think it'll be a fresh fight every time?
I think it's a brand new fight because that's what, as far as I know about other squad battles in other games, that's exactly what it is.
Well,
however, I think there's still a chance that they add in another mode called multi-stock battle or something like that, and you actually get to pick 3 characters for 1 fight. I hope they still implement that, even if it's DLC. I still hope they implement that, but I don't think that's what Squad Strike is at all. I think Squad Strike is literally it's actually meant for multiple people. I think it's, my 5 friends versus your 5 friends. I think that'd be a really fun way to play.
But I also think clearly it's made for people who want to take their best 3 versus your best 3 as well.
Oh yeah, I think that definitely is something you can put in. But again, we technically could have done that before.
And you could have done your suggestion of switching. I mean, I guess it just keeps it into a format, but you could have done that before too.
Yeah, I guess it's the same thing as like with tournament mode. We all could have made tournaments on pen and paper, but they have a tournament mode in this game. That's how I see it.
Yeah, and I still think that there's a good chance that there is some carryover element where if I damage your first guy, that damage carries over. Because I mean that makes sense to me. It's like if your guy really wants to beat all 5, then he should do it with the same amount of stock.
I disagree. The one thing I will say that's different about this than selecting characters is if there are characters counter picks. So for example, let's say I know that you pick Diddy Kong, and I'm really good at beating Diddy Kong with Marth.
Yep.
But in this mode, if Diddy Kong's your second character and Marth is my 5th character,
you can choose to switch.
I can't choose that, so that means I'm gonna have to be fighting Diddy Kong earlier on where I don't get to play Marth because I didn't know when you picked him.
Or is it like every time that fight ends, you get to choose your next? Like if you have 5 fighters, I choose 5 fighters. You kill my first one.
Oh, it might be. I don't think that either, though. I think it goes in order, but that one's more up in the air for me. I think that option could actually be either way.
Well, my feeling is, knowing Smash Bros. And the amount of options that they normally give you, I don't see why it's not crazy to think that we'll have all these options in a settings menu to make these choices. Whether
the only thing I don't think is in the game so far, and I wish was having multiple characters in one fight on one stage without leaving it. I don't think that is in the game right now and confirmed in any way, and I think that's one of the most wanted things. So
but
maybe Sakurai didn't say that simply because he wants to build hype for it.
Well, he did say single battle, so I mean it's still up for debate what exactly Squad Strike means. But he did in one menu you see that it's like Battle 1, which it says Battle 1 and it says versus round 1.
Yeah. So the battle contains multiple rounds. The other thing I would say is, if Sakurai wanted to really demonstrate that as one fight with multiple stocks for one player of different characters, he would have shown the actual fighting. But he didn't, because the fighting is going to look identical to regular fighting in Smash. So that's why he had to show all these different menus, because that's the only way to explain this. So I think the reason that the fact that he didn't show, I just don't think it's in.
What you're saying makes sense. For me, it was already in Smash Tour to be able to fight multiple characters in one fight, and it's something that seems so obvious to me that I can see Squad Strike having some different options. Whether or not maybe there is a mode to have it all in one round. Maybe there's a way to have separate rounds. I don't know. I mean, it would be cool if it was something where it was like, and this could be an option still, where it says, maybe it's not even in the Squad Strike mode, it's just in the regular menu where it says, let's do a stock battle 5-on-5. But I'd like my first 3 stock to be Samus, my last 2 stock to be Diddy Kong. Like, that kind of thing would be cool, where you can actually choose the stock of who you want. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it would have to be really specific of maximum is 5 stock, and you can only, you know what I mean? Like, because you can't have 20 stock and picking 2 here and 6 here and 3. It's like,
why?
Because how would you possibly do that with character select screen? You're going to put little tokens on 8 different characters and 2 on Samus and 6 on Fox?
Well, I get at the point where you have 20 of them, it'll get a bit cluttered, but I don't think it's easy to have 5 or 6 or 7. And yeah, every time you put it on...
I think 7's a bit much. I think 5 maybe at most.
Yeah, true. I mean, it also has to do with loading character data, right? I mean, I don't know if it's possible to load 40 different character movesets in one battle. Like, I don't know how the game loads the battles.
That's probably the reason, honestly, that it wasn't implemented. The only way it could be implemented to me is if it was either only 2 people, or if it had 2 to 4 people, it was strongly limited. Like, you couldn't.
Well,
pick
to me,
more
this tag style mode is something that really is focused for a 1 versus 1, because I'm really interested to fight my 3 versus your 3, and in a way, and I just think it makes sense if for me to have a character that can weaken one of your characters. You know what I mean? Like, I might not be able to take your character out, but I should be able to weaken it enough that everything that even though you destroy my first fighter, everything that first fighter does is still valid. You know?
Yeah, and again, I hope that is. But as far as what we've seen so far, I don't think that's
yeah. I guess my thought is if there's no carryover at all, if there's no at that first fight and you win and you just get to go into the second fight unpenalized or without carrying over any of that damage, then the mode is essentially pointless, and you can basically just do it.
It's not though, for that one reason that I said, where it's like you can counterpick your second choice to beat my first choice.
True, but I mean, we could have always just done that in the menu anyways. Like, we could just say, okay, let's like do a fight, me versus me, and then after that, if I've done that before, where I say,
yeah, loser changes character.
Exactly. Like, I've done that before, where I said I will stay this character until I lose.
But I think it's the same thing as tournament mode, where it's kind of like you could always just do it on your own too. But I think the layout of this kind of makes it cool. Like, honestly, I think I probably would do this against a friend. It's limited. It's like, my 5 against your 5. Go.
Same. I just look at the scenario where if you have one really, really good fighter, that's all. Like, Squad Strike to me is about having a well-rounded ability with different fighters. But it doesn't matter, because if you are so good with one fighter and your other 4 are not good, it won't matter, because you won't ever get to those other 4. Because I just cannot beat let's say I cannot beat your Ice Climbers. And you're just so good with Ice Climbers, I'll never beat you.
That's true. That's why I think the multiple players, like people actually playing the game, makes this mode a lot more fun.
But I know, but even still, if we had multiple fighters, let's say, and we had 10 people come to a pizza party, and I had 5 fighters on mine, 5 on yours, but you started and you were your amazing Ice Climbers, your 4 fighters would never even play.
Yeah, but that's true. That's exactly true for normal mode too. It's like, even with your mode with multiple stock and tag teams, it's like, if I'm a better player than you, I'm just a better player than you.
Yeah, but it just makes sense to me to say, okay, well, you're a really good player, but we've softened you up so much in our first 3. You've taken out our first 3 fighters, but those 3 fighters have softened you up a lot, or taken away your first couple stock. And now that the 4th fighter on my team, which would be me, comes in, I'm gonna finish you off, and then we're gonna see if myself and my 5th fighter can take out the rest of your team. Like, to me, it makes it infinitely better. The moment that fight ends, and if you have a full stock again, or full life again, or have no damage, the mode's not even, it's broken. Like, to me, and that's something that's not confirmed at all. Like, we really don't know if it is stock, and we have 3 stock fights each, and you lose 2 of your stock, you might go to that next fight and only have 1 stock. And
but I'm telling you right now, I'm about 99% sure it's exactly how I detailed. But I agree, we don't know, so who knows?
I mean, I hope not. I really do, because this mode really got me excited, and then when people started to pick it apart that way and talk about it, I became much more disappointed, because I've been clamoring for this mode forever, and I still doesn't satisfy. Like, I really want to have a mode where it's my 3 and your 3, and whatever my first fighter does to you, whether or not I lose, matters in that fight, and that's how it should be.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how it should be.
There must be a reason that wasn't put in, or not even shown yet. Like, there's got to be a, I don't know, limitation or something.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if there. I mean, this is Smash Bros. There's tons of options, so there's good reason to think that,
it could be in.
There could be an option.
We don't know. We gotta wait and see for that.
We don't know, but I mean, listeners, we'd like to know what you think. But what do you think about Squad Strike? Because there's different opinions on how it'll work. Let's move on. We had what was the other thing? There's Smashdown, and this is where you choose every time you choose a fighter, the next fight you cannot choose that fighter again,
or any of the fighters that were in those past fights.
Just choose their Echo.
Yeah.
I think this mode is very cool. I would love to do a full-on run of every single character.
Yeah, me too.
I think that'd be a fun way to take a long time. but if you did like a one stock or something, it'd be really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that crazy to go through. I mean,
It's 35 fights basically ish.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like I haven't played that much before.
Exactly. So it's not that crazy, and I mean, hopefully the load times are fast enough where you're not sitting at a load screen for each level and each fight. But
and if you have four, especially if you have 4 people doing it instead of 2,
or 8. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. 8 would be really fun for that.
Well, I'm just choosing Link and Ike and all the. There's that many players. I know who I'm choosing.
Yeah, Ike is the one to play.
Smash Bros. To me, 2 players is a completely different game than 4 players.
Agreed.
8 players is just chaos, but I mean 4 players it's fun, but it really comes down to 2 or 3 is where the Smash Bros. To me shines, and you really can get technical and get those characters really shining. You know.
Oh, I think 4 players is better than 3 players.
I guess so, because in 3 players, one person just hides, right?
Yeah,
that's part of the fun. But yeah, I thought that was really a cool mode, Smashdown. I also like this new feature that you can turn a mode on where you can charge up your Smash Ball.
Your final Smash, yeah.
I think that is such a simple but crazy idea, because I was never a huge fan of chasing a Smash Ball down.
Yeah, but this actually I might actually put on.
Same.
I agree.
Same, and it's a cool way to see everyone smashes in a crazy fight. Without I mean, some characters are just better at chasing down a Smash Ball. You know what I mean? They just have better range attacks, or they have better jumping abilities, and it's harder for a character like, let's say, Bowser to get the Smash Ball than it is Marth. Exactly. So it always seemed like to get a Smash Ball wasn't really that fun, and it kind of interrupted the fighting.
Yeah.
Where this type of charge up ability is more traditional, I'd say, with more like a traditional fighter, where you charge up your special ability, like in a classic Marvel versus Capcom type of fight, or game like that, like Street Fighter Third Strike. Where
it'll definitely be fun to implement, but I also think in the more serious fights this won't be used either.
Of course, I mean, in a more serious fight, you cannot have smash attacks on, because it kind of throws the balancing off. But yeah. I think in a party style mode where you have, let's say sometimes you turn weapons on, sometimes you turn this or that on. It's a fun alternative. Like, if I want to have.
What's crazy though is you can actually have Final Smash balls on and Final Smash meter.
Yeah, which I will never do. But yes, I won't do that. Too much smash attacks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think it'll be really fun to have, someone just smash attacking, left, right, center, smash attacking. It'd be really crazy.
Mm-hmm.
The tournament mode seems really cool. Up to 32 participants.
That's the same as all.
And you can set the style. It sounds like they really flesh it out. And I remember in the Wii U version, tournament mode came as a DLC update. I don't know if you remember that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like when the frame first came out. I mean, I could be wrong. Some reader might lambaste me for this. I'm about 95% sure that when Smash Bros. Came out, DLC tournaments were not in the game yet, and they had said that it will come through DLC. I think the Wii U version didn't have enough time to really implement the modes. It seems like they spent so much time developing. I mean, making everything HD and redoing all the assets that. I mean, it was a huge workload. I just don't think they were able to really implement too many modes with how little time they had.
Agreed.
Where this game they do.
Yeah, I think the fact that they can carry over so many of the HD assets to this game gives me hope for like a lot of even more modes than we've seen so far. Like we only seen the different Smash modes. Really, we haven't seen any of the games anymore. We haven't seen all the stadium, like home run contest. We don't know if break the targets back in, board the platform even. I mean, again, this game is ultimate. We don't know all those different modes that could be thrown in. Boss rush mode might be back. So,
yeah, they really haven't really fleshed into those modes at all. Like we've seen the main like basically what they've covered in this is they've covered the main battle.
If you look at the main menu at the end of the direct, we've only covered the Smash section, really.
Exactly. Yeah.
There are games in the top right we haven't even seen at all.
I mean, they did talk about classic mode. That was one thing they did talk about that kind of falls under Games and More.
Oh, true. Yep, you're right.
But other than that, you're right. They kind of just fleshed out how you can do different Smash battles. They didn't really get into the single player, unlockable, anything like that. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty satisfied with the Smash. I mean, the thing with the Smash option in the menu is that's always been something that is more straight to the point. And it sounds like there's no difference here. Like, you go to Smash, you're going to get into a quick fight. You have cool options of how to do different style of fights.
Yeah, and then you're in it.
Exactly. I mean, I'm looking at the menu part here, and if you click Smash, if you click the Smash option, you get into another menu that has Smash, Squad Strike, Tourney, and Special Smash.
Yeah.
And I assume Special Smash is like, having, sudden death mode, coin battle, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Special Smash is kind of all those special things, or you have it where you don't knock KO them, you have to just run out of your HP, like different things like that. And then I guess...
Is Smash Down anywhere on the Smash menu?
It's not, so maybe that's Special Smash as well.
Which also, to me, gives it more likely of a chance that there also is that tag team battle. You know what I mean? If they have a whole Smashdown mode in that section, they're going to have other main modes like that.
Or to your point, if things like that are moved into Special Smash, then the fact that Squad Strike has its own top menu item means to me that maybe there will be an amplitude of options in Squad Strike. Like if Squad,
yeah, exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean? If Tourney has options, the Smash is the main Smash. So why wouldn't if Squad Strike was just this simple set of rules, they just put it in a Special Smash along with a Smashdown.
No, I agree.
I mean, I think Sakurai gets it. I think he's a smart man. And I think it's something they had in Smash Tour, and I think it's something people want. And people will say, "Oh, well, I want to fight my 3 versus your 3."
Yeah.
Now they did talk about classic mode a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like same old, same good stuff. The two things that I find interesting are, one, each character is fighting different characters. Like you have, like, if you pick, I don't know, Bowser Jr., you're going to fight specific characters. You might fight characters from the Mario series only and then fight Bowser at the end or Yoshi at the end because it's very specific to that character.
Yep.
And the other thing that I found was interesting is just for a second, at the very bottom, they show you the levels or like the stages of classic mode.
Oh,
and
yeah?
There's a yellow treasure chest right before the final round. And we don't really know what that yellow treasure chest is yet or what it is. Like, it could be a bonus level or something like that, but it also could be a way of unlocking a character. It could be a way of unlocking something or trophies. But it's something that we haven't...
well, it could be the classic target smash.
Yeah, exactly. It could be.
Well, I'm looking at it now. I'm looking at the screen now, and it's for classic mode. It looks like someone chose Kirby, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spots on the bottom here.
Yeah.
And like you said, the last one's a boss, probably Master Hand. The second last one is the yellow treasure chest, and it looks like he's fighting Yoshi, and Yoshi's one of Yoshi's the Super Mario World level. I can't remember the name.
Yeah.
Which doesn't seem very Kirby to me, but I don't think Kirby has a lot of... I mean, other than Meta Knight and King Dedede, like, who else can Kirby really fight from his series?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're going to have to stretch it a bit. Like, I'm looking at the Donkey Kong one, and they're fighting the Squid Kids, but like the Inklings. But yeah. I think it's also cool, like, I'm looking at the Donkey Kong one still. Your teammate in that fight is Diddy Kong. So, like, they even thought about the teammate. So I think it'll be really cool. I'm looking forward to classic mode. I'm going to play it with every character as usual and beat the whole thing.
Yep, and to me, this is probably the best that classic mode has ever looked. I mean, I really like how they've done that, where every character is going to have their own set of set of fights and own set of levels
in specific levels. Yeah,
it almost makes each one feel like a little bit of its own adventure mode. You know, if you choose Mario, you're going to fight the Bowsers, and if you choose Samus, you're going to fight Ridley, and you know that's really cool.
Yeah. And the one thing they also brought back, which I don't know how specific they'll get, is they, at the end of the Kirby fight against Yoshi, they show points being tallied. So there's definitely a score system involved.
Yep.
And I'm just curious because I remember back in, I know Smash 64 and I think Melee as well, they had different points for different things you could do, like don't get hit 10,000 points, or end on a smash attack, or taunt at the end and you get extra points. So I would really love to see if they brought that back and actually have a full fleshed out point system.
Yeah, The other thing I'm wondering is that if they'll bring back the kind of risk versus reward system that they introduced in the Smash 4, where you can, bet a certain number of coins on the challenge. So
Yeah, up the difficulty.
Yeah, so I think they will because it's a brilliant idea, but they didn't really touch on that difficulty. Like I don't think it'll be easy, medium, hard. I think it might be that tipping scale.
Yeah.
I'm also really happy that they didn't bring back the same style of classic mode as from Smash 4 for Wii U, because I really didn't like that mode very much. Do you remember that?
Yeah, you move the trophy to a certain, or you pick a certain fight.
And so many of them were 8-player battles. I mean, the way to do it was you just went to an 8-player battle and stood on the side and let everyone else fight it out. And I mean, the cool part about that was you could do it cooperatively.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
You can't do that now. So I mean, I'm wondering if they'll bring that version of classic mode back, because it still is. It's not.
I disagree.
It's a good mode to especially do those big 8-player battles, but
If they do, I mean, I think classic mode should be classic the way it always has been. One or almost has
like it is now.
One player,
like it is now. Yeah.
And I think honestly, co-op will come back in that bottom left. There the story mode, if there's going to be one, which I think there is. I think that's when co-op comes in, and all those kind of things will pop in.
Okay. Well, I mean, before
I think classic mode will be strictly one fight after the other, one player.
Well, but I mean, you could have a cooperative. I mean, it could be.
Yeah, you could. I'm just saying, I don't think it will be.
Okay. Well, I mean, knowing that they did have a co-op classic mode in Smash 4, I can actually, even if they don't bring back that board style match that they had before in Smash 4, even if it's this new style, or even if it's just this, one versus fight after fight after fight style of this new classic mode, I can still see them bringing a cooperative. Actually, maybe not though, because if I chose Mario and I'm going on like Mario's theme of 8 levels, it doesn't make sense if you choose someone else, does it? I mean,
yeah.
Or would it be, or if I chose Mario?
I mean, maybe I'm just part of your story.
That's what I mean. So maybe
yeah.
that's what it is, right? Where it's like, you still finish it with Mario, you get Mario's trophy, but I'm bringing you in as help, and there's no reason for that not to be there, other than other than if there's a target smash or something, but
or 8 character fight.
Exactly. I mean, I think I think there's definitely going to be a lot of modes for 2 players co-op modes, and there's going to be a lot of single player modes as well. I mean,
do you think they're going to bring back 2 things? Do you think they're going to bring back Master Hand and Crazy Hand, and do you think they're going to bring back Adventure mode and All Star mode?
So when you're talking about Master Hand and Crazy Hand, you're talking about Order Up or whatever it's called, like Crazy Orders or whatever. Right?
Not even that mode. Just at the end of Classic mode, normally you fight Master Hand.
Oh, I without a doubt.
Okay.
Of course. I mean, I'm surprised Master Hand's not a playable character.
Yeah. So we haven't seen Master Hand yet, so that's one thing.
But they have. I don't know if they will show him unless
I know
it's
almost a given that they'll be in. But
is Master Hand a boy? I don't know. Maybe it's a girl.
Yeah, who knows? But what about Adventure mode and All Star mode?
I think those will come back. Sorry, so
I think Adventure mode will become the single player campaign, but I think All Star mode. Yeah.
Well, All Star mode is simple. You just fight every character through and try to finish it, and then once in a while they give you some power ups in between.
Yeah, but to fight like 75 characters or whatever it's going to end up being is like that's going to be a slog.
True, and back to my point about Squad Strike. You know how in Adventure mode, not Adventure mode, sorry. What's it?
All-Star.
All-Star mode. If you take some damage during the fight, you retain that damage for your next fight.
That's true.
So there's no reason to believe that, you go to that kind of...
All-Star mode also has tag stock, right? You kill Marth, then Roy pops out. It's like, it really does that too.
Yeah, so I mean, I think there's... Actually, you said you're 99% sure my theories on Squad Strike are wrong. I think there's a good chance that
I'm still sticking with my 99%. I'm like pretty confident.
But there's no reason for you to think that you won't carry it over, seeing as you can carry over. Like, it's possible to carry over your damage from fight to fight, as we've seen in All-Star mode.
True, and that would make it. That would explain the difference than just playing in Melee or playing in normal Smash.
Yes, and do you think you'll be able to do All-Star mode with 2 players? You were before, right?
Yeah, you could before. I think most of in Wii U you could do Classic and All Star, on co-op. So I hope so. That'd be really fun.
Now, do you think is that All Star mode? Is that something that comes under Special Smash or Games and More? What would
Games and More.
Okay. So
It's the same. It's another single player mode. So it'll be I think it'll be classic mode, all-star mode, and then stadium, and then maybe one other thing like Smash Tour or something stupid.
okay, or multi-manually.
Oh yeah, well that's part of stadium, in my opinion.
Okay, and then that's like home run contest and
Home run, break the targets, board the platform, multi-man melee. That's what I think all those should be under.
Now, I really hope, I gotta say, and they haven't mentioned it yet, I really hope the classic target mode comes back.
What do you mean classic target mode?
Like, you know how they had the target mode from the Smash 64 and Smash Melee and Brawl, and then in Smash 4 it was kind of just like an Angry Birds style thing where you just had to launch a bomb off into a bunch of platforms.
Oh yeah, I didn't like Smash Bros. Brawls either though.
What was Brawls again?
Brawls was there was only 5 levels and they weren't based on a character.
Okay, so yeah, that's my whole thing. I would love to see the return of Target Smash specific for characters.
Me too. I think it's crazy for 75, but I think this is the ultimate game, and again, I think it's possible.
But again, I think that a lot of the echoes won't really need their own. Like, I mean...
True, without the echo... Okay, but even without the echoes, you got 65, and the last time they had it was 24. But again, like, it's not that crazy to build those. I think someone could whip off a whole bunch of those in a day.
Yeah.
If you built the right engine or the right, level creator, it's all just polygons and putting targets.
I gotta say, I definitely think it's possible. And I think that's one of those modes that's definitely got to be in there because it's a great single-player mode that allows you to really learn the characters, right? Like each level was focused on what the character's moveset is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and how far they could jump, what they could do, yeah.
Yeah, and they could even treat it where something where, like, let's say the Echo Fighter was like a hard version of that level. Like, Samus could have a target smash, and then Dark Samus could have a slightly harder version, or something. But
or even the 3 Links, like, they all have slightly different moves. Like,
yeah,
the regular Link, he can actually roll his bombs where the other 2 can't. So it's kind of like there are things to it.
Yeah, there's definitely things that you because I remember in the target smashes that you'd have to use your entire moveset to complete them, and sometimes using them in complex ways, like knowing that you could roll your bombs, for example. Like there's no other way to get that target that you'd have to roll a bomb to blow up.
Yeah.
So I really, really hope that mode comes back because it's the thing with Smash Bros is that it's really fun to fight, but there's that time that you want to take a little break, but still stay in the game. And for me, the vault wasn't really like I mean I know you can unlock trophies and stuff, but that never really was enough of a break for me. And I love the idea of having an alternative mode that you can kind of have fun in, still learn your skills, but not be in an immediate fight.
Yeah. I agree.
So I really hope that makes it in. The other thing, we already probably know event mode will probably come back. I don't know if that's confirmed, but
it's not confirmed. But I think that's also a given that'll be in Games and More as well. Because I don't know, someone posted on Reset Era, they said Sakurai loves his event mode. I don't know if anyone actually has a quote or source on that, but I just heard that Sakurai loves making event mode.
Well, I love event mode too. I think the co-op event mode and event mode in Smash 4 was probably one of my most played favorite parts of the game. I mean, considering the single player was so weak, that's kind of all you had.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for that to come back. And I've talked about this before with you, is my idea to have custom events where
you make your own and send them.
Exactly. So I could design my own event. And, maybe the parameters aren't as complex as the developers have, but it's something simple like, oh, I want you to fight this guy, this level, this stock, this time, maybe this items. Like, you know what I mean? And be able to set those parameters, save it, then upload it, and then you can go and basically go online and try people's challenges. And it could have a whole Super Mario Maker style rating system. It could be really dense. Like it could be a really fantastic way to give the game longevity without needing it to just be online.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's an awesome idea. I don't think it will be put in this game, but I think it's an awesome idea.
Well, to be honest, with all the surprises we've had so far, just in the Smash mode with 2 levels and this and that, like I think there's a lot there's still a lot of surprises to come with these modes.
I agree. To me, that one isn't even something that's like widely talked about. So I don't even think Sakurai would be aware of wanting that.
I just think that maybe I should be working
when you
for the team.
Send him an email.
I have lots of ideas. Okay. But I do think there's, they've really only fleshed out the Smash mode, and even not fully. And there's clearly Games and More Vault Online and this green mystery mode. So I think that these other modes have a lot of surprises too. Like I think there'll be stuff in Games and More that we have not been able to predict, and surprises and things that'll make us excited. And same with Vault, same with Online, and same with this. So I think there's still a lot to see there. And I mean, is there any other modes that we haven't really touched on? That, I mean, I guess adventure mode.
But that, I think, I mean, we can talk about that at the end of the direct, when the blurred out section, if you want.
But, well, I mean, we're kind of there now.
Yeah, we're basically there. Yeah.
I mean, let's just jog back a bit here to the Monster Hunter level.
Okay.
And that's kind of the big mystery, right? Is that this level is this big open level. You're fighting a Rathalos, which is a Monster Hunter creature, and this level is not on the character select screen. And it's led people to believe that there's definitely some sort of single-player adventure-style mode.
With bosses in it, yeah.
With bosses. And I think that's definitely, I mean, with the number of bosses they have, and, even going back to Smash 4 and thinking of how many levels had bosses, it was kind of too bad they didn't utilize that to make a better adventure-style single-player mode. And
also the heavy implication that there's a theme of rivalry going on.
Yes. Absolutely. And I still, this level would an adventure mode have entirely new levels, or would it have just feature levels from the actual course selection? Like, how would that work?
I think it'll be just like the Subspace Emissary from Brawl, where it's kind of like just like an open world running around kind of thing. To be honest, I think it'll be just like Subspace Emissary.
Okay, I to be honest, I never even beat Subspace Emissary. I got about 70% through, and it just bored me.
Oh, well, I think most people would disagree. I think a lot of people really like that mode.
I liked it. I just thought there could have been improvements. It just felt like it wasn't designed that well. I mean, a lot of the mini enemies I don't really care for. And I felt like the one in Melee, the pacing was a bit better, right? You kind of went through a little bit of a platforming area, and then you had a fight. And then you had a bit of a platforming area and a fight. And that in a fight in a regular stage. And I think that could work here too.
Yeah, I just think that'll be so similar to classic mode. I think I am under the impression that it'll be like a real single campaign with a story.
True. I just find it a little strange that they'd have a Monster Hunter stage in the adventure mode, but not in the actual stage selection. Like, to me, that just sounds a little bit off.
Well, I just think it's part of the background world they run through and they fight this boss.
Oh, okay. So, but haven't people confirmed that this is actually a Monster Hunter world?
Well, they said this background looks like it's from the game Ancestral Steps, I think it's called.
Yeah.
But again, they could just implement it in the story mode, right? You're just running around this area that looks like it, and then
yes.
But there's other speculation that someone else speculated or leaked or rumored that Monster Hunter, a character, is in the game, but they weren't done yet, so they're not showing it right now, and that's why they haven't showed this as an official level. But it actually is a level, and that character is in the game, but they're going to do that officially when the character is ready to show,
like a Monster Hunter character.
Yeah,
I'm actually surprised they don't have. I mean, that seems very obvious to me.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance, but I mean, at the same time, the fact that they didn't show the character in this direct when they showed the other stuff, to me, makes it less likely that character exists.
That's how I feel. I mean, if they're going to show a Rathalos, you'd think they'd show that off with the character. Not, it's like they wouldn't show Dracula from Castlevania and then Simon Belmont comes later. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And the other thing too with Monster Hunter is that it's the character. There's not really a central character in it, so it's not like there isn't that main character. You're really just playing your own avatar that you name yourself. Yeah. So there's such a huge amount of gear and weapons, and it's so customizable that it almost seems like what. I mean, I can definitely see them having like the monster warrior character, but it is kind of more of an avatar than it is a reoccurring named figure. You know?
Yeah, but it's not like we haven't had avatars before.
That's true. I'm just I can see it going both ways. I mean,
me too. Me too. I wouldn't be surprised. I'd enjoy it, but I also don't really care. I'm impartial.
Yeah, but like you said, based on how things have rolled out with showing the Rathalos now, I kind of doubt it. But I would like it. I think it'd be cool, and I think it would make a lot of my friends happy. And it's a huge franchise, right? Like it seems like for how big Monster Hunter is in Japan, you'd almost need to have that.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know. I mean, I haven't actually really thought about that until recently, so I'm not sure where I would lean on making that a prediction or not. But I actually think there's maybe a pretty good chance that maybe even in DLC we'll see it.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Or maybe they'll announce a new Monster Hunter, and at the same time they'll announce it. Like I think they will try to pair a few announcements with character reveals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even though they didn't announce a Castlevania game, which I hope they do. But anyways, I think that Rathalos fight looks awesome. The other thing I was wondering is, on top of a potential adventure mode, is what about a boss rush mode?
I think that 100% for sure will be in.
Yeah, I think that'd be very cool.
Especially the fact that there is it again looks like to me that there will be a single player mode. When Brawl had the Subspace Emissary, they did have a boss rush mode that you got after beating the single player.
Oh, okay, cool. And I mean, my memory of Brawl is sort of hazy. It's probably my least favorite Smash Bros. Other than 64, so I just didn't really get too into it. Other than multiplayer, so I don't really remember the Subspace Emissary. But were the bosses good? Were they well designed?
Yeah, you fought Ridley. You fought Rayquaza from Pokemon. They were okay. I mean, they were still pattern bosses, right? You dodge their attacks and you hit them.
Yeah.
But I liked it, and I loved boss rush mode. It was a really good challenge, especially on the harder difficulties. And I think it'll be back. I think both those will be back, single player and boss rush mode.
Great. So yeah, I mean, I think at this point we can already pretty much infer that this is going to have a lot more content than Smash Bros. 4.
Yes.
Especially for single player.
Yes.
Okay, so we've kind of fleshed out probably what Games and More will be. It'll probably be, a event mode, boss rush, a classic mode, an all-star mode, and maybe a new mode, right? Like something like that.
Yeah.
Now, there's this other little green square here. And it looks like a main square. Like it looks equal in size to Games and More. So smaller than Smash, but it's a main mode for sure.
Yes.
And it's blurred out, which means they don't want us to know about it yet, meaning that it's got something special even in the name. Now, do you want to speak to that? Because I know you've been part of this research team.
Yeah, not me specifically, but I know that there are a few people that went frame by frame and decoded the actual blurred out image, the pixelated image, and they figured out that the word at the bottom says spirits. And I believe they also did it for the Japanese version, and the Japanese caricatures also spell out the word that translates to spirits, as far as I understand from what I read. So we can understand that mode is called Spirits Mode. We don't really know what that means, but I think that could be the name of the story mode, like Subspace Emissary. It's Spirits.
Yep.
I think it definitely ties into how you unlock characters.
Okay, and I mean, just cycling back a bit, they went frame by frame. What? Because it's only one frame of it blurred out. Is it they went frame by frame when it zooms out into revealing? Like, I mean,
what do you mean?
I guess I'm just wondering how they got this. You said they went frame by frame, but when I'm looking at the menu here, I only see one frame of blurred. Like, I don't.
Oh, yeah, it's not. I'm not sure how they did it, but it definitely spelled out spirits.
It must be when it first zooms out, it changes a little bit, the blurring and stuff. Cool.
So if you go to 23, I think it's 58 or something like that, and you go frame by frame, there's some weird thing they did.
Okay. Well, whatever.
I don't know.
Whatever.
Oh, yeah, go to 2358 and go frame by frame when it zooms out from Smash mode. That's how they did it.
Okay, one sec. Ah, yes, I see. So they're gonna catch a couple frames in there of different. Yeah. Okay, it says spirits, and you know what? I think you had an interesting theory about the spirits. Why don't you speak to that?
So I forget what I said. What did I say?
Well, the fact that in the last trailer, Luigi gets killed, and the Ridley trailer, the other three, the killings, it's violence.
Yeah, so Luigi has died as far as the Castlevania trailer, and Mario, and I believe it was Link or Mega Man also died, or it was Mega Man, died in the CG trailer that revealed Ridley.
It was Mario. It was Mario, Samus, and Mega Man.
Mega Man, and Samus, we don't know she'd really die because she comes back as Zero Suit Samus. But, so we have 3 characters that are dead. So, I mean, dead, quotation marks. But whether that actually means something to do with spirits, I think that kind of leads to the story mode. I think maybe all the characters fight their evil counterparts and die or live, and it has a whole story that revolves around the spirits. Because, as we know from the original game, these characters are dolls or action figures that have spirits put into them that allow them to fight, right? So, or trophies also, like trophies or dolls that have spirits in them. So I definitely think that has something to
that kind
to
of
do with
part of the story.
Yeah, well, I mean, those CG trailers, it's very likely that those are part of the story.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, when Ridley kills off the 3, I wasn't as surprised. But when Luigi dies, like that's fairly violent. I mean, he gets killed with a Sith.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty dark. I was actually really surprised by that. And even at the end of that CG cutscene, and he's trying to get back in his body, and you'll see his dead body there. And it's probably the darkest we've ever seen these characters, these Mario characters.
Yeah, but it's in a humorous way. I mean, it's still, even with Luigi, it's still kind of humorous.
Yeah. I mean, I think I think you're right. I think it's basically a new form of subspace emissary. I think when you go to that green mode, you're not going to get a whole drop-down menu of items. I think you're going to just basically go into a mode, start the story. Maybe you can go in and choose easy, medium, hard, co-op with some options. But I think basically that's a story mode. You're right. Cutscenes, platforming, not platforming, but more scrolling levels.
Yeah, I don't know if we're talking about predictions later on, but this heavily relates to one of my predictions. This idea of dying in spirits.
Okay,
we'll talk about it later. Well, let's finish the direct. 'Cause there's one big thing else to talk about in the direct.
Okay, and before that, should we just talk about? I want to talk about a couple other things. So,
okay, go ahead.
One thing, I really like the menu layout here. I like it better than the last couple Smash Bros. Where they had more
me too.
A white look, and I really did not like the menu layout in Smash Bros. 4 was not well done.
It was awful.
Like, it was like things didn't really have consistency. Like some things felt buried in menus where Smash Run or Smash Tour was on the top menu. So like it just didn't really feel consistent. This is very simple. It kind of returns to that darker aesthetic of the 64 and the Melee, remember?
Yep.
And I much prefer that style, and I really like it. And the icon. Now I want to talk about the icon in the middle. I just think, as a side note, it's interesting what characters are there. It's Link, Yoshi. It's a lot of all these characters from the original Smash Bros. Weren't they?
It's the original 8 that you didn't have to unlock.
Oh, that's the original 8. Okay, I see why they're so important now. See, in my head, I was thinking, it's funny how Samus is there when someone like the Splatoon Inkling is not, when the Splatoon Inkling is far more popular than Samus. But I guess what you're saying makes perfect sense.
So what I'm thinking, this is going to be so crazy, is I think that middle icon, that's the character you start with. And as you unlock characters, they fill in the way we've been seeing on the directs, how the characters start appearing on the picture. And that the middle symbol in the menu will start scrolling left and right and show you all the characters that you've unlocked.
That's cool. I like that. Or even the right analog maybe can scroll around, look at them.
Yeah, because someone said that that picture with all 65 characters, or whatever, isn't actually one image, but it's actually it's every single character is a different image.
Of course.
It's very easy to move them around and manipulate them. So I think it's let's say you unlock Ridley before you unlock Marth or whatever, and one's closer than the other. They can just put that other character closer and move them out as you go along.
Yep. Or maybe it's customizable.
Oh yeah, maybe that'd be really cool too.
I mean, it'd be cool if you could go in
awesome.
and like move, like you have the full artwork there. And you can move that kind of ball anywhere you want to focus on those characters. But I mean, regardless, even if it is just those 8, that's kind of cool to me. It kind of makes sense, and it's kind of like the legacy, right? Like, look where we came from, type of feeling.
Yeah. Sakurai confirmed that those are the characters you start with in the game. Those are the only 8 you start with.
Yeah, which I think is really cool. And
Yeah.
how do you feel? How do you think characters will be unlocked in spirit
think-
mode?
I think there will be multiple ways, as there has been in the past. I think it will be Spirits mode, which is probably the faster, more logical way, like Subspace Emissary. Or if you want to play Smash, it'll be the challenger approaching warning symbol if you play a certain number of games, like it always has been.
So like multiple ways. I heard. Sorry, yawning here, just yawning. I heard some speculation that there might be just one way to unlock characters. Like there's just like, oh, this is the mode you go to and unlock characters. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think you're right. I think it's going to be different ways. And I think ultimately there'll be ways where if you just fight like 20 matches, you'll have that opportunity to unlock someone. It won't like there'll be alternative ways to get these guys depending on how you play.
I can't imagine Sakurai not putting it away for people that just love to play the normal Smash mode and just want to play with friends. I can't imagine them not unlocking characters after the think about getting this game on the first day and playing with your friends for a couple hours in the Smash mode. It's like you want to be unlocking characters. No one wants to play with just those 8 unless you have to play the single or 2-player story mode for a couple hours.
I mean, truthfully, I wouldn't be surprised if after one single fight, it says challenger approaching.
Well, I think it goes 1, 5, 10. Or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, it seems like you'd be playing it almost immediately. You'd have, like, Luigi come in there.
Luigi?
Wasn't he he was one of the first unlockable characters.
Yeah, him, Captain Falcon, Jigglypuff, and Ness.
Yeah, so I think that's a really cool... I actually really like that, because in Smash 4, most of the characters were unlocked already. And I think unlocking characters is a big part of the game. It was always really exciting to unlock a new character and try them out.
Yeah. And the challenger approaching or warning thing was cool.
I mean, nothing will ever beat going back to 64 or Melee when you genuinely didn't know what characters were in the game.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was cool.
The age of the internet. I mean, even Sakurai said we're going to tell you all the characters beforehand.
Yeah.
And I guess my only hope is that to kind of build some of those surprises is that maybe in the future with DLC, they will have it come out the moment they announce it or something. But I just think that there is something still very exciting about unlocking new characters, even if you know they're in the game.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And I mean, back to something like Mario Tennis Aces, which came out for Switch, and we'll talk about this in our one of our future podcasts. But there's no unlockables; you just have all the characters from the get-go. Mm-hmm. And it just feels there's something severely lacking about that. I mean, it would have been so much more exciting to just have something like it does in Smash Bros, where you play 10 matches and then challenger approaching, or you do this story mode and then you beat it and the challenger's approaching, or you do something to unlock characters. Really gives a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah. And
encourages you to experiment, where versus having them all right away, you're just going to play as the one that you're used to. Okay, so let's continue on this menu here. So there's Vault and Online. Is there anything much to talk about there?
Online, we don't really know anything about yet. It'll probably be somewhat similar to the Wii U, but more expanded upon. I mean, we could talk about that for hours. Let's talk about that some other time. And Vault, I think it'll be the same thing as trophies, maybe music, stuff like that, or history of old school games was really cool. But I think that's mainly trophies.
Yeah, I think so too. And all those modes to unlock trophies.
Yeah.
I think they might have a couple, and break the boxes or whatever it is, and things like that. Like, I think that'll all be there. And to be honest, I thought the way they handled the Vault in Smash 4 was great. Like, I didn't really think they had to do too many changes there.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's not the biggest mode even. It works fine.
I mean, Vault's I've never been someone who really cared about the unlocking trophies. Like, I know for some people it's a big deal, but I've never been an achievement whore. So
yeah,
I don't really. It's a nice thing, but
yeah.
And I remember somebody saying about Smash 4, it was annoying to unlock things like new custom moves.
Yeah, I'm glad they took those out.
I'm glad custom moves are gone. I never liked them. I never used them. It ruined characters like Palutena, and it was a useless feature. And it made unlocking things not feel fun when you have so many things to unlock. Like, unlocking music. I don't even know if we'll have to unlock music this time, but you did in Brawl.
It doesn't look like it to me.
Yeah, so I don't even care to unlock music.
Or stages even.
Yeah, it doesn't look like. I think he said all stages are open from the get-go, right?
Yep.
So I think that's really cool. I think if anything, it's kind of nice to just get trophies. You know what I mean?
And characters and trophies are things that you unlock, which I like.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, I even think too. I don't know if they'll do this, but unlocking different costumes would be cool too.
That would be cool. I agree.
I don't think that's gonna happen, but
Yeah, I think they're already. Yeah.
and then I'm glad that online is confirmed here because in the E3 direct, Sakurai kind of said, "Well, I hope that online's ready for launch." Like it really, I think he was joking.
Yeah.
And I also have hopes this time now that they're going and doing more pre beta testing, open online tests for weekends that they'll be able to get the online right this time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we got to think since Smash Bros. 4 came out, which the online wasn't good in that game. It was laggy and the connections were bad and the options were not very good. I think that since then, Splatoon 1 and 2 have come out, Mario Tennis has come out. They've had much more success with Mario Kart Online. They now have a paid online service. I think they have every reason to make this work. I really, really hope it's good. I just hope, because in Mario Tennis, if you connect with someone and you see that they have a low connection, you can cancel.
I'm sure they'll do that in this too. There's no way they wouldn't.
Yeah, and you know what ends up happening is that people who have bad connections or are playing from McDonald's or whatever, they just will never get into a fight, and then they stop playing. So you kind of end up in a zone where you only get into good matches.
Yeah.
So I really hope that's part of it. And I don't know if they'll still do the for fun for glory thing, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I do wonder if they'll have something like online, you and me being able to play online events.
I doubt it.
I doubt
personally.
it. I really doubt it. And then, sorry, I think we've covered the menu, but we didn't talk about Master's Orders or Crazy Orders. Like, do you think those will come back?
I don't think so. I don't think they're that. I don't know. I don't think so, and I don't really care. I didn't play them very much. I don't really exactly remember what they were, to be honest.
Well, one of them. So I'll explain. You got to remember, Smash 4 had like really no single player content, like nothing. Like the classic mode was pretty weak. The event mode was it. So there was no target mode. So I mean, it was very little to do, and so you started looking for these things to do. And I did play a lot of Crazy Orders and Master's Orders, and one of them you basically spend coins, and it's kind of a risk versus reward setup where. Do you want to take your rewards or fight one more? And another one, you got tickets from doing other modes that you could use to play, I think, Crazy Orders. They were interesting modes. They weren't super successful, but I can see them coming back just because it's already designed, and why not? I mean, I can even see both of those modes maybe forming into one, them getting rid of the ticket system and maybe just having Crazy Orders. Mm-hmm. Maybe they'll get rid of both and they won't talk about Master Hand at all, and that'll just be like the surprise boss of the Spirit mode or Classic mode. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot they could do. But I can see something like that coming back. Like maybe something to replace it or something where you do have that kind of risk versus reward for trophies.
I'm sure they'll add something new to Games and More, like a new type of something. Whether it's that, like there's going to be more than just the Classic All-Star and Stadium. Like they'll add something.
I agree.
But one more thing I want to touch upon. What do you think the blurred out icon on the right side is?
Well, I actually wanted to go through all those icons on the right.
Okay.
The top one there, you can see a little red arrow pointing to it. So that's your main menu.
Yeah,
now,
that's what you're at.
To me, that implies that all of these bring you to a separate menu page. Which makes sense. Like in the bottom, you have the question mark of probably how to play. Then you have your settings, which is your little wheel there, which is probably just like controller hookups, rumble, things like that.
Yeah.
The messages thing.
Now, if anything, that could be the way you send your special events that you talked about, or tournament invites, even.
That's true too. Or that, I mean, at the very least, and this is probably the most disappointing, is that message is just like, hey, we have a new level, we have a new DLC character. Click here to buy from the eShop.
Yeah, that's true. That could be that too.
You know what I mean? Because But I think you might be right. It might be.
But I think this looks very Smash specific.
Yeah, but they still had things like that in other Nintendo games where they had like that. Here's what's new in this game kind of thing. Didn't they? I think they had it in Smash 4. Like they had that already, and it's kind of just like, hey, we've updated this. Hey, we've updated that. Hey, we tried this character. Like silly things just to keep you feeling engaged.
Yeah.
I think if anything, has anyone, and above that there's the little wireless icon. I don't know. That's probably for LAN play. Like if you and I want to hook our systems up and connect.
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Because there's no other, because it's not online, and it's how you get to Smash. You just hook up like there, and you just go to Smash.
Yeah, and I wonder if I click. Let's say you and I both have our Switches out, and I click that, and I hook up to yours, or we both hook up together. Does that mean our menus just sync, and then we can both select through the menus and do everything, like as if we're both sitting at the same system?
Honestly, I think so. I think that when we hook up that way, if it's LAN, we both have a system. We both can do spirits. We both can do the games and more. That's co-op. We can both do everything like that.
Other than probably maybe not online. Well, maybe even. Why not? They had two player going online before.
I think online.
I think you're right, actually, and it's just an interesting way to do it, because in something like Mario Kart or other games that had the LAN option, you had to go to a specific menu option, and only within that option can you select the LAN play and connect.
Yeah, I think this is like we join screens, basically.
Yeah, this one looks like we're all together completely in doing anything together. It's almost like there's no difference between a LAN connection and a local connection.
Yeah.
Like there would literally be no difference between me using my Switch and you and having a Pro Controller with your Switch.
Agreed.
Which is, to me, awesome, because that means that when you're on the go, you can both have a Switch and you can do anything together. Like it's not like, oh, we can only do Smash fights together. It's no, you can do everything together.
But
like,
even let's say in regards of unlocking characters and spirits, or if you can do spirits 2 players, it'd be nice to be able to unlock characters on my game and unlock characters on your game without having to be like, oh, we just play yours.
Yeah, I wonder if there'd be one system that has like the base. Like, let's say I've unlocked all the characters and you've unlocked none. Like, what happens when we connect? Is one of us the host and one of us is joining, or is it?
Oh yeah, maybe that, or maybe I only see my character choice and you only see your character choice. Who knows?
That would seem really strange, though. Because you've always in Smash Bros. Shared a character select screen, always. So
True,
what are you going to see everything grayed out? These are just talking about how the menu's going to be laid out. So it's not that important, but it is interesting to think about, and I think it is. Just that little symbol being there on a sub-menu like that, implying that we can do every single mode together as LAN, is, to me, really awesome.
Agreed.
Now, above that is has anyone deciphered what that icon is?
No.
I'm joking. There's only 9 blurred boxes.
Yeah.
It does look like something that's more vertical.
Yeah, it looks like vertical. It looks like there's something bright on the top, dark on the bottom, but there looks like definitely a pillar.
Now, what are your thoughts on what that could be?
I have no idea. I couldn't even guess.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a mode. It has to be something on the right that's like a functionality thing.
Yeah, you're right.
It could be a leaderboard. Is there like a leaderboard thing, maybe?
Maybe it's Amiibo.
Oh, yeah, it could be Amiibo.
But why would they blur that? They've already confirmed Amiibo can be used.
Unless it has something to do with spirits.
Yeah, or it has... I don't know if it would have to do with one... if it has to do with spirits, why is it on the side menu? Now, my thought is that, and this is what I would hope it would be, is that the same way that the LAN menu syncs you up to another player, is that icon would take me to a mode that shows, like, oh, look, here's all your friends that are playing Smash Bros. Right now. Here's, like, I could go in there and say, oh, this is like you're playing Smash. Okay, I go in, I click that icon, it opens up a menu that shows you almost like a lobby. Then it shows you, and I can send you a message and say, let's play, or I can join you and say, hey, you know what I mean, something like that.
Yeah, but again, I just find it weird that they blur it out.
Well, because it's implying this much deeper online settings.
Right? I guess, yeah.
But the other thing, but then I would wonder, why isn't that option not in the online setting to begin with?
That's what I mean. Like, these are different than the actual modes. I don't know. That one's totally up in the air. I have no idea. It could be connecting. It could be connecting to the website or leaderboards, or it could be connected to your phone. It could be. There's so many things it could do.
Yeah, but it is something that's hidden for a reason, and it's. They could have easily.
I think Amiibo. Honestly, Amiibo is the most likely. But I don't know why it would be hidden.
I really don't think so. I think because they never had that. I don't see why that wouldn't be in settings /vault/ just tap your Amiibo when you're in the select screen. Like I don't see why they need that as a sub menu.
Yeah, that's true. I have no idea.
Maybe it's replays. Maybe it's who knows, right?
Maybe it's online. You watch online replays.
Yeah, I think what's most likely is some sort of friend setup where I can go there and maybe I can and maybe it's not an online setup, but maybe it's some sort of achievement thing where I can go in and say, oh look, Derek's unlocked this much. He just had a fight with this guy and won. He has this many wins, this many losses. He's online right now, and you can maybe just click and say, let's play.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's probably that type of social setting. I mean, you got to think all of those options on the right there on that sub menu bring you to a different menu screen. It's not just
but none of them have to do with the actual gameplay part of it.
You cut out. There's actual game.
Actual gameplay. None of them actually have to do with actual gameplay.
I know. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm thinking it's more of a social element.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I mean, we could speculate about that forever. But again, I think it's just weird. Unless it's something monumentally like. The reason the green thing spirits is blocked out is because it's a huge thing to talk about. So unless that thing is like a huge thing to talk about, I just can't imagine why else. Even if it was the friend system or replays or leaderboards or whatever, why would they blur that out? Why not just mention it?
I just think
it's gonna be something big. I think it's gonna be something big. Is what
I think it's big, but it's big in a way because it's new, but it's also not gonna be super big. It's not super big. It's not like that's like some crazy new mode. I just think that that's probably maybe some sort of social element that ties you to your friends better than ever before. Yeah. If even just a way to compare. Like, I mean, even if it's just a way to compare records or to see who's online currently and join them. Like, maybe that's where I see you're online, just press join. Like, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to plan the online, but I think that whole online setup's going to get a revamp. Mm-hmm. And I think that it's going to be better than ever.
Yeah.
The other thing I was going to ask, moving on from that, is stage creator. Do you think it's back?
If it is, it's in games and more. I honestly don't think it is.
You don't think it is, even though it's been in the last 2 versions?
Yeah.
I disagree. I think it's definitely in.
Okay. Me too. I mean, like, to me, like, that's such a non-thing I even care about. I don't use it.
Well, let's be honest. The stage select kind of sucked. Or sorry, the stage creator kind of sucked.
Yeah.
But I do think it's going to come back. And I mean, it's a touchscreen. Let us draw them again. And maybe it'll be a little more fleshed out. But it seems like the stage creator is one of those things that isn't too deep, but they've been fleshing out a little bit more every time. And even if they just do a little bit more this time to add to what they did to the Wii U version, it could be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I agree.
So that's cool, and then I guess that's the menu items. Like, it sounds like there's a lot to do in this game.
Well, there's no surprise there. I mean, Smash Ultimate.
I guess so, yeah. It really is Ultimate. Is there anything else in this Direct, or have we kind of covered this whole Direct?
Well, the only thing we're missing is the last cutscene.
Oh, King K. Rool.
Yeah.
Which, to me, was amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I was much happier about this than Simon Belmont. I mean, I grew up playing Donkey Kong Country. I think Donkey Kong Country is probably one of the first games I ever beat. So I've got a lot of nostalgia with King K. Rool, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think his character model looks good, but not great.
I agree to that.
Like, something looks a little bit unfinished about his groin area. Like, it doesn't connect. I don't know. It just seems weird. Like, this textures wrapped around his legs and arms don't seem perfect. I can't explain it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But I think in motion he looks great, and I love how he's got throwbacks to all the different games he's been in. He's got the gun, he's got the little flying copter, and he's got the punching gloves,
the crown throw.
So it's like they really are giving you what you want. And you know what's cool is I remember watching this Direct, and he's kind of Sakurai was wrapping it up at the end, and I saw a little bit of a camera shake. And my first thought, you were with me, and I kind of thought,
yep.
Wow, who's Sakurai's camera guy? Like, why are you even touching the tripod or camera at this point of the video? Like, just leave it. Like, you're recording. Like, you see amateurs do that from time to time. It's a locked off camera shot and it's still shaking. It's like, well, why are you meddling? And at first I thought, well, this is what's going on? And then I heard a little bit of rumble. I go, nope, there's one more fighter.
Yeah.
And then as soon as we saw, literally the moment that scene loaded and I saw DK, I said, it's happening. K. Rool is happening. And
well, especially the pictures that came before it, right? They showed all the rivalries.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that is true. I didn't. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about
That's
the
why
little segment.
I actually, the moment they started showing those, that's how I knew it was K. Rool, because I knew they were showing the original 8, and the only one that didn't have one is Donkey Kong, in my opinion. People can argue about Yoshi, but that's why as soon as you saw the first 2 or 3 come out, I go, this is going to be a trailer for Donkey Kong and K. Rool.
I actually forgot about this section where they had the enemies, and they kind of have this really cool animation style going. It looks more hand drawn.
Yeah, that's why. And again, that gives it even more, to me, more credence to I don't know if credence is the right word, but more oomph to it having a single player mode that's based on rivalry. Like even the video is called Rivals, so I think it's all based on heroes versus villain kind of thing.
Yep. And I think that's cool. I really like that a lot. I think that'll be it's a really cool approach to this. Like Subspace Emissary was a little bit batshit crazy.
Yeah.
And this one's that kind of makes sense. You know what I mean?
This one actually has meaningful bad guys. You know what I mean? Like if the enemies are actually other playable characters, it's a little bit more.
Yeah, and it's almost like it could be kind of a bad guy versus good guy. Like maybe all the enemies have teamed up in the storyline, right?
Yeah.
Which is really cool. I mean, I think King K. Rool looks freaking awesome, and I love his final smash. I think it's hilarious, blowing up DK Island.
Yeah. I agree.
I'm really happy about that. I think it's one of those characters who it's almost like it was a dream for so many years, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really happy about that. And I guess that kind of wraps up the Direct, doesn't it, as far as news?
Yeah, that's basically the whole thing.
So overall thoughts on the Direct. I mean, I think it was a 10. I loved it.
Yeah, I give it a 10 out of 10 too.
I mean, it's
most characters ever announced in a Direct for Smash.
Yeah, and it's also, you know, it's one of those things too with Nintendo Directs where they're so often disappointing or so often just full of crap that it feels nice to just watch one that's just 100%, like it's paced perfectly. It's just gives you information at the tone, at the pace you want it, and it gives you the right information. And it has the right amount of surprises. It begins with a reveal, it ends with a reveal. It's got really funny, like little, you know, graph-breaking numbers. Like it's
and the characters that they've been picking, like not just this Direct, but like our fan favorites. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I know Greninja and Pokemon are popular. When I saw Greninja on the trailer, I was like, okay, that's cool. But to see Ridley at E3 and then drop K. Rool in this one, it's like, okay, now they're dropping the big bombs. You know?
Yeah, like Ridley, K. Rool, and Simon Belmont, like those are characters that I really want. And when Smash 4 was announced, Mega Man was cool, but I didn't really care that much about Palutena. I didn't really care about Villager. I didn't care about Wii Fit Trainer. You know what I mean? And even when the game came out, like Duck Hunt Dog was, you know, cool, but he's no Ridley or K. Rool. Like these are awesome characters, right? These are icons.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
So I really like that a lot. So I mean it was a great Direct, and you know it feels good after E3, which I kind of just for the listeners, I did make an E3 video, but I got taken down because I used licensed music in it, so it only existed online for about 2 seconds. So I didn't bother to repost it, but you know, the E3 was a little bit of a letdown to me, I think, overall, and it's just nice to get these kind of Directs where it just knocks it right out of the park, and the hype is huge, and you know, Reset Era went down for about 30 minutes, and it's a good feeling. Like, you know, people come out of these Directs feeling good.
Yeah, I agree. I think I think everyone walked away happy in this.
Yeah, except for that one guy on Reset Era who was disappointed that it wasn't announcing other games, even though we knew it was a Smash Bros. Direct, but I think he got shut down properly. Anyways, okay, so what's next on the agenda here to talk about? I know we have a couple other things. Dreams, hopes.
Talk about some predictions, dreams, hopes. Kind of all in one, I guess.
Okay, well, good thing. We've already thought about our predictions. So, are we talking about just character predictions? I guess we've kind of talked about all mode predictions. We talked about...
Yeah. We spent a long time on stages and modes.
Well, I think we should revisit stages and talk about that for another hour.
Oh my god. For another day, next Direct.
Yeah, seriously. No, let's talk about characters, because we kind of have pushed that to now. So, there's definitely more characters to announce.
Are we doing... Well, Sakurai said there's a few more. Are we doing characters that we think are in or characters we want to be in? That's the question.
Well, I think we do what characters we think will be in, and then we do dream characters.
Okay.
So I'll go first as far as what I predict left for characters. I I think that I haven't, to be honest with clones, I haven't put a lot of thought into it because, clones can be anything. And I think they can really just toss in tons of clones. So I haven't put a lot of thought into that. I think that another Sonic rep will be there. Hopefully Tails, not Shadow. But other than other clones, I'm not really too sure about what other clones are obvious. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I do think that maybe Snake might get a. I know actually Solid Snake's not going to clone. Who am I kidding? But anyways, let me talk about newcomers. I think there's going to be probably about 2 or 3 more newcomers.
Like new movesets.
New movesets, not clone,
Okay.
not
Yep.
echoes, not anything like that. So there'll be brand new characters. My prediction is that one of them will be ARMS representation.
No.
Well, let me finish my predictions, and you can shut mine out.
Yeah.
Okay, I know everyone on Resetter is like, oh, it's got to be DLC based on the timeline of when it was announced. But I mean, I've gone over it. It's.
I think the fact that we'll talk about it later. You go first.
Okay, I think the thing is that this is a brand new Mario Kart team made game, ARMS. They knew about it. They've known about it. It's been in development for a while. It came out over a year ago. It's not too late to put it in. I think that idea that they must have chosen their whole lineup by 2016 is a little silly. And even in 2016 or 2015 when they were choosing their final roster, this game would have been in development at Nintendo. They clearly advertised the hell out of it. They have DLC. It wasn't a game they just dropped, you know what I mean? It wasn't a fling smash or some small little game they didn't care about. Clearly they put a lot of energy into this release, promoting it, doing the E3 tournament. They clearly want to promote it. And like I said, it's not just about Smash Bros. Putting in iconic characters from big selling franchises. It's also a series that can push franchises as well. And I think the way it pushed Bayonetta and the way it pushed Fire Emblem and even to some extent Earthbound, I definitely think that ARMS was something that they would want to push. And like you said, they're fighting characters, right? And they have unique movesets with springy arms, even if their arms don't spring quite as far as Simon Belmont's whip, because you said he's got the longest range. I really think we're going to see a Springman / Ribbon Girl, Ribbon Girl being a Echo fighter of him. Actually, like I said, I think it'll be Ribbon Girl with Springman being the Echo fighter of her, because women power. And I think they're definitely going to be in the game. And I think you're going to see a stage as well. You're going to see maybe it's that ramen noodle bowl stage, which I think is a really cool stage.
Okay, cool. So that's your first person. Let's go back and forth so I have a chance to talk.
Okay, yeah. That's my first prediction.
Okay. I think. Do you want? Can I talk about that for a second?
Yes, let's talk about that first. Yeah.
Okay, I don't think ARMS will be in the base game. I think it'll be DLC for sure. But again, with Sakurai saying it's the longest reach, that, to have less reach than that whip would make the whole point of having ARMS characters not really interesting. It's to me, the interesting thing about them is their reach would be 3 times longer.
But also, he's known to be a trickster. He said at E3, I hope online is ready. You know what I mean? And then 2 months later, it's in the menu. So
yeah, and he said that there was only going to be a few characters, and he announced 5 the next direct.
And, and he's not going to say he's got the longest reach so far. You know what I mean?
I agree, but and I understand your whole timeline thinking, but you named other games to promote that they promoted, like Fire Emblem and Earthbound, but those had a history of games already being out. Even Bayonetta had Bayonetta 1 out for years.
But my point there was that it was just Smash Bros. was heavily promoted those games.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, I don't think ARMS will have a character, and that's my opinion. I think they will have a lot of DLC. Yeah,
I agree. A lot of people think that. So it's not some blasphemous thing to think it's not going to happen. I just think it is. So.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so for my prediction, I'm going to start big, okay? I'm going to start big and go small. I think Geno from Super Mario RPG.
So you actually think that's going to happen?
100%.
You think? Wait. You said 100%.
I'm 100% on board. I think it's a 90% chance that Geno's in this game.
90% chance that Geno's in this game.
Yeah.
I think that is the most ridiculous prediction.
Well, you can say what you want,
Ever.
but I'm betting most people would say Geno is more likely than an ARMS character.
To me, I don't know what dimension we're in where that's
Okay.
even a reasonable thing to think.
All right, let me explain my reason. Let me explain my reasoning.
Okay.
All right, so one, he had a costume in with a Wii U game. So did K. Rool. They're the only two costumes that got updated graphically. Okay, with the DLC content, they got updated, and the K. Rool costume looks very similar to the character that actually was just announced. So if anything, they're using that update for the character, and they're going to do the same for Gino. Secondly, when they were doing those DLC costume updates is when they were deciding the roster for the characters in this current Smash Bros. Ultimate. So if anything, when they decided that we're putting K. Rool and updated his costume, they also got Gino's license and they're putting Gino in. Secondly, Gino is probably the most popular and wanted third-party character right now. And he's probably one of the most popular characters, period, right now, that is still not announced. He's top 2, I think. And lastly, and this is my own belief, this is a little bit more of fanboyism, but the whole idea of spirits in the single player, I strongly think that Gino will be the final character announced and shown in the final part of the story mode, similar to how Sonic was, where he comes to save the day in Subspace Emissary. Gino is the original doll that has a spirit put in them, and all of Smash Bros. Is dolls with spirits in them. So if anything, Gino makes the most sense to put in this game as far as lore-wise and story-wise goes. And again, he's super wanted. He represents a retro character, a surprise character, a wanted character, and the timeline makes sense. The costume makes sense, and I think it would be very easy to get him.
Okay. And don't get me wrong, I would love Gino. I love Super Mario RPG, and I definitely had, a team with Gino on it. I love that little move where he punches and then his fist shoots out of his hand. You know that move?
Yeah, fist rocket.
Yeah, like he's got some really cool moves, and I would really like him in the game. And I even looked up a quote here, and it even said, and here's the question: it said, and it's a Sakurai quote, "What led you to make a Gino costume after all of this time?" Sakurai says, "To tell you the truth, it's because I wanted Gino to be a playable character. He has a gun for a hand, and I think he fits in really well with Smash. During Brawl, I thought it would be great if I could add him, but at the end, it didn't become a reality." So, I mean, that's a pretty... I agree.
If anything, to me, that makes it more likely Gino's in, because Sakurai wants Gino in. He said multiple times how much he wants this character in.
True, and I think it would be awesome, but I just... At the same time that Gino's a cool character, it's almost become a meme in my opinion. Like, it's almost become a joke because it's such a far out possibility, and I think Sakurai's now just responding to that far out possibility.
Oh, I completely disagree.
But
he is so popular. He's so popular that it's like
okay, but let's be real. Smash Brothers sells 10 million copies plus. You walk down the street, you talk to average gamers, they don't have a clue who Gino is.
Yeah, but you could have said that about Marth in Smash Bros. Melee, but he was extremely popular for the people that knew Smash Bros.
But Gino is from a game from 1995 that, you got to think we are older than a lot of people playing these games. No one below the age of 20 probably knows who Gino is.
It doesn't matter. He's still one of the most heavily requested characters, period.
Yes, and and if he was he's in one... I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Okay? I'm just telling you why I think there's a chance against it. He's in one Square Enix game from way back in the day. They've now kind of... Mario RPG is, it's a fantastic game. I actually think it's the best Mario RPG there's ever been, still, to this day.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Nintendo doesn't really want to pay a lot of attention to that, to focus on their Mario and Luigi and Paper Mario RPGs. Like, they never really went back and said, let's make Mario RPG 2. I'd love them for... I have a dream... Side note, dream game, Octopath, the developers, to make a new Mario RPG. That'd be amazing, eh?
Yeah, let's stick the topic at hand.
Yeah, okay. I just think it's too far out. I mean, I love Gino. I just think it's one of those things where he appeals to a very niche hardcore subset of gamers. Yes, sure, the ones who vote, the ones who talk on Reset Era, the ones who play every single Smash Bros. From day one. But these games sell millions of copies. He's not
Sakurai commented on it, saying how he wanted him in. He made a costume for it. He updated the costume for it. At the same time, he updated K. Rool, and they were picking the roster list. To me, it's like, out of all the characters that could be in the game now that haven't been somewhat leaked already, he is the most likely.
And you know what? I hope he's in it. I don't see it. I mean, I
don't see ARMS right now, so I think we're.
I think ARMS has a way better chance and is even now is more recognizable probably to people than, I mean, someone sees an ARMS character in Smash, they're gonna say, well, I've seen that character. I've seen it on the eShop. I've seen the trailer. I've seen it in the little game. I've seen it in Toys R Us. I want to buy it now.
I think Gino is more likely as in the base game, and I think as far as base game and DLC, they're probably equally likely.
I mean, I think that ARMS characters are going to make it eventually. I do think they're going to. I do think they're going to be in the base game, but if not, they will be DLC.
I think for sure DLC. But okay, next prediction.
Okay, so my next prediction is actually it's Gino from. I'm just kidding. No, my next prediction is, you know, I don't know if this is more of a prediction or more of a dream, but Captain Toad and Toadette.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
I mean, I know that they have been seen in the Mario New Donk City level in the background, but like you said, Link's driving the train in one of the levels too, and there's, you know, in the Animal Crossing stage, there's other villagers back there. So I don't really think that necessarily makes it a no. I mean, I haven't actually done the inspection. Is it Captain Toad or just another Toad?
It's Captain Toad.
Okay, well, I just think that Captain Toad is such a popular character. Toad has been a main staple of Nintendo's games for a long time. He deserves his shot, and Captain Toad is kind of like the most popular Toad, if you think about it. Because toads are a species, I think. I don't think there's a Toad. I think there's just the species of Toad, and then there's like the classic Toad who's Peach's assistant and castle guard, kind of castle assistant. But Captain Toad is really cool, and you know they put him in Mario's Odyssey, and he's got his own game that's just been re-released, and he had his little moments in. I don't know if it was actually Captain Toad when it was 3D World in those side stages, but. I think he's got a really awesome moveset. I mean, he's got he can pull radishes. He's got he can throw things. He's short. He'd be really unique. He's probably fat. He'd be fast. He's got the pickaxe, and you could easily swap him in for a Toadette. I just think that it's a popular character, and I think it makes sense. So I think that it's possible.
Okay, I think it's possible. I think the stage, him appearing in the New Donk City stage, makes it less likely. But I agree. I think he deserves a shot. I think he deserves to be in, and I hope he does. I don't think he deserves it more than other, even Mario characters. But I think he deserves to be in, regardless. But I don't think he will be. Maybe DLC as well for him.
Yeah.
As far as my predictions, so let me just get rid of all the echoes that I think will be. I think Shadow will be an echo.
Okay.
I think Isabelle from Animal Crossing will be an echo. I think Ken will be an echo from Street Fighter.
Yep.
I don't think Tails. I think it'll be Shadow. Did I already say Shadow?
Yep.
Yeah, I think those are the main ones. I think Dixie has a good chance of being an echo.
Oh yes, Dixie a huge chance, I think.
Yeah, and another thing that gives support, some people say, oh, why wasn't Dixie put in this video with K. Rool being announced? Yeah, but same goes with Ridley and Dark Samus, right? Ridley was announced, but not Dark Samus, and then Dark Samus was an Echo later.
Exactly, and I think they want to give Dixie her own little spotlight, because even though she's an Echo, she will have that different up B move, clearly with her hair. She has to have her hair be part of it.
And not just that, I think they wanted to give the spotlight to K. Rool. Same with they wanted to give the spotlight to Ridley. Those are huge characters. They don't want to share the limelight of those huge moments with another Echo.
Exactly. They're not going to downplay a major new character that's been asked for years with a Echo. You know what I mean? But I do think Dixie to me is almost the closest thing to 100% that's going to happen, because I just think they got to have a female representation for Donkey Kong. She's a popular character. She's gone back years, and it's an easy Echo. I just think it's.
I agree.
I guarantee.
I agree. I think Dixie is probably the most likely out of all the non-leaked characters. So I don't know if leaks are true or anything.
Well, they're not leaks. They're rumors / maybe real leaks. Like, you don't know what's real.
Yeah, exactly. So as far as my next prediction, though, I'm gonna say Skull Kid, because of the rumor that's kind of going around with Skull Kid right now is that he's in the game.
I have not heard this rumor. Can you tell me about it in our readers?
Yeah, so listeners? there's a guy named he's on, I think it's GameFAQs, or he's on Game Explain. He's on one of those forums. I think it's GameFAQs. His name's LOZ or Laws98, and he's gotten most of the leaks correct. He predicted all the characters returning, no one gets cut. He predicted Ridley coming back, or Ridley joining the game. He predicted Daisy joining the game in the same direct. He predicted who's the other character at E3 that was shown? Do you remember, Pete?
The E3 character that was shown that he predicted.
Not Ridley, Daisy, and who was the last one?
Ridley, Daisy, and it was another Echo, wasn't it? I mean, Inkling.
Yeah, I can't remember. It doesn't matter. He predicted that all.
It was an Echo.
Okay, he predicted all of them, and then you're right. It was Inkling, Ridley, and Daisy.
Yeah.
And then after that, he also predicted K. Rool coming out the August Direct. So this guy has a lot of credibility. And what he said is the one thing that he knows, or it looks like is true. He said there's at least 2 more newcomers. There's quite a few Echoes still on the way. He said this game is unbelievably ambitious for what you expect. And then he said, and my sources also said, Skull Kid is looking like the Legend of Zelda rep. And it makes sense too. It kind of, to build on that, is the assist trophy that was Skull Kid got removed,
and now
is replaced just the moon. And some people say, oh, that could be his final smash, so that means he's not in. True, but I mean they could also make his final smash something to do with Majora Mask and make him like a Majora monster, or whatever it is. But also several other assist trophies have been taken out as playable character that turned into playable characters. Like Dark Samus.
And when we find out that Shadow's an assist trophy, that'll be denied as well.
Well, Shadow is going to be a playable character, so I mean that's also a good point. And if you think about it, Legend of Zelda hasn't had a new character since Melee, right? There's no new character added in Brawl. Toon Link sort of.
Well,
and then,
yeah, you're right.
And then there's no new character in Wii U, and they deserve a new representative, and they deserve a character with a new moveset because they have 3 Links. Ganondorf's a clone, and Sheik and Zelda were originally one character.
But now they're not, though. They're totally different now.
Who?
Sheik and Zelda.
Yeah, Sheik and Zelda are totally different now. Yeah, I agree. And the other thing is, it really makes sense of. It kind of gives a little bit more merit of, oh, they're bringing Young Link back, and check it out. Here's Young Link's
rival,
Skull Kid,
which works into this story. I mean, I don't think there's enough for every character in the game to have a rival. I mean, I don't think. I mean, looking at the character selection, I think
they all will have. I think they all will have a rival. Actually, I agree. I don't think they all need a playable rival. I think.
I mean, you just all of them. I mean, I guess for things like Pokemon, their rival will be other Pokemon. You know what I mean? And I think for some of the Fire Emblem characters,
Mewtwo and Lucario, yeah, easy.
Yeah, like, but who are the Fire Emblem characters' rivals? Who's Villager's rival? Like, there's some of these characters that I just don't really have. Who's Pac-Man's rival? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't do it. I mean, who's Wii Fit Trainer's rival? Like, what are you going to jump through hula hoops? Like, it's so stupid.
Wario.
Or King Dedede.
For obesity.
But yeah, so I don't. Yeah, you're right. I don't think every character needs a rival, but I think Skull Kid, it makes a lot of sense with Young Link. It's a good counterpart. It's a new character. Legend of Zelda needs a new character. They took out the assist trophy. There's a leaker backing it up.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of the most prevalent characters in Zelda history, even though it was only the boss of one game. You know, the Skull Kid appeared in both, and also in Twilight Princess, and I think it might have even appeared in. In Ocarina of Time. So the only other character that would really have the same merit.
Skull Kid definitely appears in Ocarina of Time, and then later on but he doesn't get the Majora's Mask until Majora's Mask. Yeah,
and he also appears in Twilight Princess. And
does he?
Yeah, when you try to get into that dungeon in the Lost Woods. Remember, you go back and you do the Lost Woods.
Oh, I didn't know that was the same Skull Kid.
Yeah, he plays the trumpet.
So he's immortal. Is that the idea that the Skull Kid's an immortal figure? Like he sells his soul?
I don't know. I don't know the lore behind that. But anyways, the only other character that is equally as valid is Vati, the bad guy, the wind bad guy from Four Swords and Four Swords Adventures or whatever.
No, what about Zant?
Zant's only in one game. All I'm saying is, as far as number of games in fame, I would say Skull Kid is the highest, and I think he's going to be in. If anything,
what about Tingle?
To me, Tingle's in the stage. So if I'm going by the stage,
what about Navi?
Navi is
I'm just
Navi is
a
it's a taunt for Link.
I'm just kidding.
So,
No, to be honest, you don't have to convince me. I agree. I think that Skull Kid has a high chance. I would love to have Skull Kid.
I think it goes Dixie, Geno, Skull Kid.
But I also think that Skull Kid could be a clone. Sorry, could be a Echo.
Of who?
I mean, it could be Greninja. Like, you know what I mean? It could be something really weird, but just changes what it's using. Like,
first off, every Echo so far is of the same franchise. And secondly,
you're
there's
right.
no way he's going to echo Greninja. Greninja has ninja moves.
Yeah, so did Majora.
One person said he could be an echo of Zelda, like using black magic, and then instead of summoning an armored knight, he summons one of those puppets from Twilight Princess. But
I think you're right. I mean, I think it's possible. I just, at the same time, we could have probably made that argument. Well, I guess Ridley's new in Metroid, so yeah, I guess it makes sense that Dark Samus is an Echo, where maybe Skull Kid being an Echo doesn't make sense. Like, you're not gonna have an Echo of Young Link or Toon Link because they're already practically echoes of themselves.
Yeah, and I think there's such a cool move list that you can do with Skull Kid, right? You have Deku Nuts, Deku Scrubs, his Majora Mask moves. You have him playing the trumpet and summoning someone, puppet, or you even have some of his moves from Hyrule Warriors. If you want to kind of get creative.
I never had him in Hyrule Warriors. That's only in the 3DS version, right? Or I think I never got that DLC.
It might be the DLC even of both games.
And I tell you, they dropped the price of that Hyrule Definitive Edition. I'm on board because I want to play some of those characters.
100%.
Yeah, but I'd love Skull Kid, and I think he'd be more of a fast fighter with punching. He'd probably be punching and kicking. He doesn't. I don't think see him having a weapon.
I think he'll be floating around the same way that Dark Samus floats around, and I think he'll be smacking with a Deku stick. No, Deku Nuts.
I think that's a great prediction. I think it's very possible. Yeah, no denial there. So my other prediction, and this is for a new fighter, is Rayman.
Okay, good choice.
I think I don't think it's guaranteed by any means, but I think Ubisoft and Nintendo are pretty close, and I think that Rayman rumor that came... I mean, that one guy who made the fake Rayman fighter in Smash a couple years ago, that blew up the internet. Ubisoft commented on it. We've got Mario in a Rabbids game, and if you remember, Rabbids actually started off as a Rayman tie-in. Like, it started off as Rayman Rabbids something for Wii.
Yeah, Rayman plus Rabbids or something. Yeah.
Yeah, for Wii, and so they exist in the same universe, and I just don't see why. You could even have Rayman who throws a rabbit. Like, you could have that little bit of a tie over, and I think it's very possible, and Rayman just fits, and he's definitely a gaming icon as much as many of these other characters. He goes back to the 90s. One of the first 3D platformers ever was, I believe, Rayman 2. It was on N64. Rayman's has been featured on a lot of Nintendo systems. I mean, Wii U, Switch, 3DS.
I really agree because, one, I find it surprising that Ubisoft doesn't have a representative in Smash yet. When Ubisoft and Nintendo are so close these days. Like, why is there no Ubisoft representative right now?
Well, I mean, let's pump the brakes here, because who would that actually be?
Rayman. That's what I'm saying.
Obviously, I just mean, like, other than Rayman, I mean, what are you going to have?
I know, but
Sam Fisher?
That's why. But that's why I'm giving support to Rayman. Is like Ubisoft deserve the way they're so close to Nintendo, and Ubisoft is a big company. They deserve to have a character in Smash. Yeah. Right. So I think that's the perfect choice, and I think Rayman is pretty likely too. And
I do think that it almost feels weird at this point that Rabbids have no feature in this game at all, considering even as an assist trophy. Because the Mario and Rabbids was really successful. Rabbids have a pretty big history with Nintendo systems, dating back to the Wii launch game. I mean, for all intents and purposes, Rabbids are more a Nintendo series than any other. Like it's always been more successful. They had exclusive Rabbids games on Wii. So I think it's weird that there is no Rabbids representation, and I think I would be disappointed if it turns out that a Rabbid is the new Ubisoft representation. But at the same time, I think it'd be cool to have Raymond, but him like picking a rabbit out of the ground and throwing it, or something like that.
I think it'll be Raymond if ever, anyone. I don't think it'll be a rabbit.
Or even kind of like Rosalina and Luma could be Raymond and a rabbit. I think that'd be stupid, but I would love Raymond. Bring him.
Yeah,
please bring him.
I agree.
Please
That's
bring
a good
him.
prediction.
And a level, and he'd come with a level, which fills in that space on the bottom, right?
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any other predictions?
I have a couple other, but those are my new character predictions. I
have some dreams, but I don't really have.
Let's
any
get to
more.
dreams. Oh, you have no more predictions?
Well, my dreams and predictions are kind of melded together.
Okay, so like let me cover a few more things before we get into the dreams. So I think that Tails, what's his name? Miles Tails Powell or something was what his name is. He's going to be in the game. Was he ever an assist trophy? I think he was.
Never.
Right? Never. So
Never.
He's never been in the game at all. Maybe as a trophy.
Yep.
Knuckles is a assist trophy, which he was in Smash 4, I believe.
To replace Shadow.
To replace Shadow. Now, why does Knuckles do the same thing that Shadow did?
No.
No, not necessarily. So, I think Tails is just a much more popular character. I mean, he'd be a clone of I keep saying clone, but I mean echo of Sonic. And I think that that'd be an awesome character. I mean, here's the thing. I know no one wants him, like no one's clamoring for him, but I've played a lot of
A lot of people do want Shadow.
Shadow.
Tails. Yeah, Tails.
I've played a lot of Sonic games. Tails has been there practically from the beginning. Plus, he's a orange fox, right? He has a different look. Shadow is literally just a costume for Sonic. He's a black Sonic. He's as lame as Dark Pit. And not only that, but Shadow is not from games that are known to be good. I know that he was in Sonic Adventure 2. He had some like that's probably the best game he's been in. Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic Racing, Transformed. But Shadow's own game was terrible. And Shadow's inclusion in games like I think he was in Sonic Forces. Does anyone like Sonic Forces? He was in Hero. I mean, he has been throughout the series, especially in the last decade and a half. But at the same time, he's just not known as a successful icon. And I mean, this is me. I've played more Sonic games than you. I've played most now that I've actually tallied up the Sonic games, I've played most of them. And he just sticks out nowhere in my memory. I have no fondness for him. And
as far as I understand from the public, Shadow is more popular than Tails.
Yeah, and I gauged that too to quite some shock. I mean, I don't understand.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's almost
he's edgy.
And it's, I guess I would much rather see Tails, but I think going back to the Rivals thing, it makes sense. But I also think that Dr. Robotnik / Eggman would be really cool too, because we don't really have an enemy from a third-party series, do we?
No, not as a playable character.
No, I mean, like you said, Ken might be a good fighter, good
well,
rival.
if you think about the theme of rivals, right? Ken makes sense against Ryu.
Yep.
And we have Dracula for Simon Belmont.
That's a boss, not a playable character.
Yeah, but it's still I'm just thinking about the story, right? Like the story mode having rivals, like that's obviously his rival. And then you have Shadow makes super sense of being a playable Echo and a rival to Sonic.
Well, I mean, I can even see them coming out and saying, "Hey, we have Tails and Shadow."
I agree with that. That is the only way. To me, the only way Tails is getting in is if both of them are getting in, and I think that's actually quite likely because I agree. Why put Knuckles as an assist trophy before putting Tails as an assist trophy?
Yeah, and Tails is a popular character, and this doesn't seem very hard to put these clones in. You know what I mean? Like I can see there being one reveal trailer where it's like Shadow and Tails. They're both Echoes, but they also have their own kind of special abilities on the side. At the same time, I will say I really don't want Shadow in this game. I think that he would drag down the entire lineup, and he would be by far the worst character in the game, as far as being a lazy Echo clone, and also for having the worst game series on his own time. Like, on his own terms, he's got the most. He's in some of the worst Sonic games. His own game is absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've said this. I've said this before, but I mean, let me just look up. Let me look up Shadow the Hedgehog on Metacritic here.
Oh my gosh, we don't need.
So you're
so adamant about being against this guy. Okay, I get
Shadow
it.
the Hedgehog. It got a 45%. So that's an average, right?
Yeah.
This one of the quote here says, "Shadow the Hedgehog is awful. Stay away from it." Another one from Gaming Age, which Gaming Age actually, just so you know, used to be the host of the old forum for NeoGAF. Gaming Age said, "Combine the relatively poor visuals, monotonous level design, and you'll find yourself in the middle of a level with no real visual cues of where you are within the level." Wow, that just sounds like the peak of game design right there. I mean, anyways, I'm always down for more characters, but Shadow's one of those ones where I would literally be happy with a blank space on the character select screen than Shadow. That's how I feel. You know what I mean? I don't care about him. So yeah, I guess those are our main predictions. So yeah, I think Arms, Raymond, and what was my other thing? I already forgot.
I don't remember. It's Tails
or something.
Captain Toad.
Captain Toad, and I think that even that's a little bit far out. I remember.
Mine was Gino. I can't remember what mine were.
Gino, Tails, and
Gino, Skull Kid, and
that was it.
Yeah, that was it.
I know you talking about Paper Mario. I think there's a good chance of that too.
Oh, that was one of my dreams predictions. I think Paper Mario is like maybe a 10% chance of getting in, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if he did. But I really hope he does. It'd be awesome.
Well, like you said, there's no new Mario representation yet in this game, so.
He again also is really high in the popularity polls.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that'd be really cool. I mean, it could have its own moveset. It'd be really unique as a level.
Yeah.
Paper Mario would be really cool. And is that it for? Okay, one more thing. I think Waluigi. I know he's an assist trophy.
Wait, is that a prediction or a dream?
I just want to touch on it. Okay.
Because I have another dream I still want to predict.
I mean, obviously he's a dream of mine too, and I know he's an assist trophy, and I hope that was just some sort of troll or it gets patched out. But it's like you kind of round out the whole. If you had Toad and Waluigi, you'd kind of round out the whole Mario team. Like you'd have all the staple Marios from. I mean, hell, you'd have all the characters from the original Mario Kart in there. You know what I mean? Like. I mean, I get the original Mario Kart was DK Jr.
There's Koopa in the original Mario Kart.
You're right. So. You're right too. So I'm wrong. But you'd round out the basics. Like, and Waluigi wasn't around then either too. But I mean, you'd round out the basics. You got the Wario Waluigi team. You got Mario Luigi. You've got Rosalina, Daisy, Peach. You'd have everybody, and it just seems like he's just not there. And let's be real, Waluigi's a popular character. Did you know? I mean, I even did a video online, Facts of Waluigi. He's in more games. Waluigi is the character that has been in the most games for not having his own game of any character ever.
I believe that.
He's in like 30, 40 games. I mean, he's in like 10 Mario Kart parties, 5 Mario Karts, tennises, all sorts of stuff, right? He's in Dance Dance Revolution as the main enemy. And
I think he's very likely to be a DLC character too.
Yeah,
I think he's a character that DLC will come out and they'll say, hey, we got rid of Waluigi as an assist trophy because fans wanted to have him be a playable character, so here he is.
I hope so. I mean, I really hope so. But I don't really think he's in the base game, but he's just someone that I've always wanted, and I think it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So,
okay, as far as
dreams, are we on dreams? Or?
Yeah, dreams / somewhat plausible predictions. All right, I have two, but I'll just do one at a time. My first one is Isaac from Golden Sun. I played Golden Sun back on the Game Boy Advance, and both of them. I played the DS one, and they're some of my favorite games. I think Isaac would fit perfectly. He's a sword fighter, which isn't great, but you can give him an axe if you wanted. He has awesome spells and moves that you can incorporate. The only thing is his most recent game on the DS wasn't that popular. He hasn't been around for that long.
Did you play that one?
Yep.
Did you like it?
It was definitely worse than the first two, but I give it like a 7 or a 6.5.
I tried to play Golden Sun, but those random battles, man, I can't do it.
Yeah, well, to each their own. But yeah, so he's not as popular as he once was back in the Brawl days, but I still think there's a chance he gets in, and I think he'd be a great fit. And there's some people that speculate he might be a rumory, leaky, but who knows that he might be in. But I don't think there's a very good chance that he's in. Especially they removed his assist trophy in the Wii U version, so they took it out from Brawl to Wii U. They removed him completely from the game, and yeah. So I'm hoping that he comes back as a playable character, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, Golden Sun is one of those franchises that has a deep. I mean, it was popular on Game Boy Advance, but it really hasn't been relevant for a long time, and it doesn't seem like something they're trying to continue to be relevant.
Yeah, agreed.
So I just don't know. And also the thing is, like, have we ever really seen, other than the box art and character art, I mean, he's really just been pixelated. Like, we've never even seen a real 3D model of him. Like, we don't really have a sense of what he would look like. So in some sense, that I think that's a deterrent from being in, but it also means that it'd be really cool to see what Sakurai's team would, how they would envision him as a 3D model.
Yeah, but the character models are pretty good in that game. I mean, especially in the battle scenes. It's not like it's, Octopath has like very bit, and you know what I mean, like very pixel.
Well, I know, and speaking of the Octopath team, I think they're called Acquire. They should do a new Golden Sun. Imagine, like, that's what they really should do, Golden Sun.
That'd be cool.
Because it's right up their style of graphics.
Totally.
There's almost something about Octopath that reminds me of Golden Sun. Like I don't know, like the fighting visuals or something. Like, do you agree?
Yeah, it's the same kind of fighting, like 4-on-4 or whatever, 4-on monsters. Yeah. I like everything. Yeah.
That would be really cool. That's a good dream.
Yeah.
One of my dreams, I think, would be Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil. Cool. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think that he's been in he's Resident Evil 2 was big. It was an N64 game. I mean, it came out on PlayStation first, but it was on N64. Resident Evil 4 starring Leon Kennedy was a GameCube developed kind of exclusive, like for 1 month. But I mean, he's been a prominent character on Resident Evil is a very big series, and it's now become a mega series. Like, if we've got Final Fantasy in here, we've got Metal Gear Solid here. I don't see why we shouldn't have a Resident Evil representation.
You don't think Chris would get in before, or even Claire or Jill before Leon?
I think now that we're in the world of Echo characters, it would be like you'd get Claire and Leon, or Leon and Jill. Like Leon and Jill.
Leon and Chris, yeah.
I mean, I think Leon's always been a more popular character than Chris. I mean, he's got that cool haircut. He's got that awesome jacket from Resident Evil 4. And let's be honest, like, Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 2 are iconic games in the series, and Chris is in 1, which was great, but 5 was kind of more of a evolution of 4. So I just don't see Chris being as big of a character, and he's also just not as memorable. I mean, like in 5, he's some steroids-ridden monster, and
what moves would you give to Leon?
I mean, it'd be similar to Snake, right? He'd have like some sort of grenade. He'd have, I mean, obviously they don't want to have guns really, but he'd have like a knife,
suplex, a knife, kick,
a kick, a grenade,
suplex move.
Yeah, like something like that. Yeah, like a suplex moves, and I mean, I guess nothing really be too zombie really related.
Yeah.
I mean, grenade launcher, and he could have the poison grenades. Like, he fires a grenade that's poison.
Or incendiary, or flash grenade even.
Yeah, flash grenade.
Yeah, there's definitely a moveset there. I think Leon's a good choice. I like Leon. I think Resident Evil should be represented. And it's a big franchise, and Capcom could put that character in.
And I think that'd be really cool. I mean, I can see that being DLC as well, where it's like they'll say, hey, we have Leon, we have Jill as a Echo, and we have the police station or the mansion as a stage.
Yeah,
I can really see that happening. I mean, Resident Evil has been a big part of Nintendo series, so yeah. I mean, anyways, that's a dream of mine.
Okay, that's a good one. Okay, my last one that's even in the realm of possibility, because some of my dreams are far out, but this one is a lot of people's dreams, and I think it's either going to be Gino or this character as the final reveal. I think it's Banjo-Kazooie. So I think near the end they're going to reveal, like, because you can't start with Ridley and K. Rool and not have a big bomb at the end to drop. And I agree. We kind of talked about it earlier or yesterday. You need a big bomb to end it all. And how do you, like, who really could you name that is bigger than K. Rool and Ridley at this point?
To argue your point, when Smash Brawl and Smash 4 were first announced, they kind of announced their biggest
at the start. I know. I agree.
So
The last few characters were Duck Hunt.
Mega Man was dropped right away, and in the last few were like Duck Hunt and I don't even remember.
Bowser Jr.
Bowser Jr. Like it wasn't.
You're right.
So I can see them having already blown their load.
I just think of Smash Ultimate. It's got to be Ultimate, and I think I just have a feeling they're going to announce a huge name character, especially since they're really going for hitting all the fans' wants, like all the wants of everybody that plays this game.
Yeah.
So I think Banjo-Kazooie is somewhat likely. I think they're close with Microsoft these days. They're working on Minecraft a lot. They have crossplay now. So I wouldn't be surprised if Banjo-Kazooie made the game, but I think it's or Geno. I think both of them are very likely, and I think both of them will be the big announcements near the end, near release.
Yeah, and I think when where Banjo would legitimately be a huge announcement, I think it's good to keep in check that Geno really is not a big announcement for anyone outside like a gaming circle. Like I mean, for the general masses, for it's not like he's going to bring the awareness that
Banjo-Kazooie would be way bigger. I agree. Banjo-Kazooie would be bigger.
Realistically, Mega Man was a bigger reveal than Snake.
Agreed. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because for the people who play Nintendo, I mean, we got to remember, like, there's a lot of young families and stuff that play these systems too. So they will have absolutely no clue who Geno is. And the thing is that if they try to if someone's like, I love Geno, I want to play Geno's game, it's like, well, too bad, because SNES Classics are sold out. You know, it's like you can't. You know, you can't go buy Geno's new game.
Yeah, but you can't go play Rob either. It's like, or even Duck Hunt Dog.
You're right. Good point. Yeah, but I think they're more the vintage. I don't consider Geno vintage. He's more like.
But I think Geno will be the vintage. He'll be the surprise retro one game, not really.
Yeah. But
like super wanted character.
And I really hope it happens because I love Mario RPG. One of the few RPGs I've beaten.
Anyways, those are my two dreams. I think Paper Mario, Banjo-Kazooie, and Isaac from Golden Sun. Those are my dreams.
Okay. And I mean, I said, Waluigi's one of my dreams, Leon Kennedy, and I can really see, I mean, I know Banjo-Kazooie is definitely a dream. You kind of stole my dream there. I think that'd be huge. But I have one, this is my ultimate dream, actually.
I know it's coming.
I know it is. So it's Sakurai's going to come out at, probably the last direct before Smash Bros. Comes out. Maybe he comes out at the Game Awards. And basically he says, no, I've got one more thing, and he said, this thing might really surprise you. And it's dun, 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 and then a warthog from Halo pulls up and skids, and Master Chief is right in the back, and it comes right to the camera, and it freeze frames. You get the black bar across the screen, and says, Master Chief joins the battle. That would blow up the internet. There would never be an announcement. That would be the biggest Smash Bros. Announcement ever. I'd be bigger than Cloud. That would match Cloud, if not be bigger.
For sure.
Huge.
Especially for today's day and age. Like, when Cloud came out, it was, you know what I mean? Cloud is old.
Exactly.
But Halo is has been, like, everyone of all generations, like, from, 8 to 30 know who Master Chief is.
Worldwide. And he's got a really cool moveset with the, he has the sword, he's got the guns. I mean, I obviously I'm not a huge Halo fan, but I have played 1, 2, 3, Reach, ODST, 4. Like, I played a lot of Halo. Like, I really like it. And I just think that'd be so amazing. And I think that in this Smash Bros. Series now has almost transcended just being like a good Nintendo exclusive. It's now this museum. Do you know what I mean? It's like a museum of the biggest and best fighting characters. Like, it's transcended just being a game. Like, even if you don't like playing the game, to just follow it and see the characters being announced and be part of that is exciting. So I really see, especially the way Microsoft's going now, is that they want to be a part of that. Same reason I think Raymond's going to be there. I think Ubisoft wants to be a part of that, and I think they say, well, you're not just putting your character in a game for a Switch exclusive. Like, this is for history, and putting someone like Master Chief in now matters 10 years from now when some kid who plays Smash Bros. Now is interested in the series, right? Like, it keeps him iconic beyond just the scope of the system. So, and like you said, Microsoft and Nintendo are getting close, and I can really see a direct where it's like, Microsoft cross Nintendo Direct almost, where it's like, hey, here's the Smash Bros. They're going to have some sort of thing for Minecraft, I think. maybe. But, Minecraft, maybe a Banjo, and then Halo. I think that'd be freaking huge.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And I don't think it's outside of the realm of possibility. And to be honest, as much as I want Banjo and as much sense as he makes, I can almost see Master Chief coming in not Banjo.
Yeah, the only thing I would counter to Master Chief being in is every other character. Oh, I guess Final Fantasy. I guess Cloud hasn't been. I was gonna say every character has been at least on a Nintendo game, but Cloud hasn't. But I would say at least their franchise has been on a Nintendo game. Like Halo hasn't. The franchise itself hasn't even been on Nintendo.
Okay, so let me just clarify here. Cloud has appeared on a Nintendo system.
Oh, in Final Fantasy Theater Rhythm, right?
So I have a list here: Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories Game Boy Advance, Kingdom Hearts Recoded DS, Theater Rhythm Final Fantasy 3DS, and which means Theater Rhythm Curtain Call. So both of those, I love those games, as well as Final Fantasy Explorers. Obviously not a main character, but I mean he really is only a main character in Final Fantasy 7 and then Final Fantasy, I think, Dissidia, and he's also in the Advent Children movie, which is awesome. But you're right, he's not really in any of those games. But then again, Square is a third party.
But I mean, all I'm trying to say is that all the third parties that are on Smash Bros. Now, their franchise or the character themselves have been on a Nintendo system or game. There has not been a single thing at all to do with Halo in Nintendo. So that's why I think Banjo-Kazooie is way more likely. It's like at least he had like all of his games, or I guess two of his games, have been on Nintendo. Only been on Nintendo.
And I agree. I just think that's why it'd be even more of a dream and a crazy announcement, because it's like now Nintendo and Microsoft have transcended that, and I think that's and I mean, in my view, the way it's interesting. This is a little bit on this side note of Smash Bros. And probably a bigger topic for later, but Nintendo and I don't know if you remember back 15 years ago, and it was the console wars were very stark, right? It was like, it was like Nintendo, what's exclusive on what? Why buy a GameCube? Why buy an Xbox? Why buy a PS2? And I feel like now, 10, 20 years later, the gaming industry has expanded. Now, look at the sales of PS4, Xbox, and Switch. Like our sales units are higher than ever. Like all three of them are successful. Back then, PS2 was successful and Xbox and whatever were hurting. And since, Gen 6 with the Wii, and now, Wii U failed, obviously, but, the gaming market has expanded. So, and now we're seeing cross-play, and we're seeing Nintendo and Microsoft release a video together, and you're seeing Microsoft put Minecraft on other systems, and Microsoft is now saying, well, we're going to put our games also on Windows computers. Like, I just don't think we're in a place where it seems like now everyone's being nice. And it's almost like where a crossovers like that almost are cool, where it's almost like Batman and Spider-Man crossover, where right now with this whole Marvel versus DC movie stage, we're in that stage where that would never happen, but in the comics they did, because it got to that point where of course they're competing rivals, but it still helps both of these. It promotes it on both sides. And like I said, it's a win-win, because no one's gonna not buy an Xbox or not buy a Switch because of this. And if anything, it promotes Master Chief to a whole new audience, and it promotes Halo to a whole new audience as well. So it's cross promotion. It's basically saying if you're an Xbox fan, now you should buy a Switch, and if you're a Switch fan, you should buy an Xbox to explore this character. And it's a win-win. And at the same time, if you look at Switch and you look at Xbox and you look at the directions that they're both going, they're totally different. It's like they're totally different. Like Nintendo's almost focusing on a handheld portable future, and Microsoft is more focusing on doubling down on the Xbox power. You can see the Xbox One X. So it's in the future, I think Xbox is going to double down even more on power. They're going to outpower PS5, where I think they clearly see that is a different market than the Switch. And in the past, Microsoft, while they did own Rare did develop games for the DS and Game Boy Advance. They did Viva Pinata. They did a Banjo game on Game Boy. I believe they did a Game Boy Advance Banjo game, and I believe they also developed Diddy Kong Racing for DS. So it's like they have developed things. There is a partnership there. So I'm not saying this is a prediction that's going to happen. I'm just saying that it's a dream of mine, and it would be crazy. It would blow me away.
Nice.
Yeah, so I think there's something else I was going to throw out there. Yeah, those are the dreams, but we missed a very important thing. A lot of people predict another representation from the Xenoblade series. Now, what do you think about that?
I think it's likely, but I think that will be DLC as well.
Yeah, I can see that, and I can see it not happening as well. I mean, to me, Rex and Shulk aren't really that far apart. I didn't play Xenoblade 2. I played Xenoblade Chronicles and I played Xenoblade Chronicles X, and I still don't really feel like anyone from X needs to make an appearance.
Yeah, but Rex is like the number one most wanted or predicted character in Japan for Smash Bros.
Yeah, and but Japan's list of what they want is crazy too. I think Rex would be cool, but I don't have any connection to him or that game, and I haven't even played Xenoblade 2, so I don't know. I guess I just feel that
I don't care personally. I just think there's a good chance he makes DLC.
Yeah, I guess I just feel like there's a lot of that kind of like male anime from RPG series representation. That and Rex to me, he's not as unique as someone as like Lloyd from Tales of Symphonia, which is also interestingly enough. Someone created an image on Reset Era. I saw it, and it was like they had a costume for Chrome, they had a costume for K. Rool, they had a costume for Gino, and they had a costume for Lloyd from Tales of Symphonia. So
Yeah.
and Tales is a big, long-running series, and it hasn't had a huge representation on Nintendo series, but Tales of Symphonia was an exclusive. Tales of Vesperia is coming out. Namco's developing the damn game. I think it's possible.
Yeah, I think it's likely to or possible.
Yeah, I don't think Goku is possible. I think it's become more of a joke. And I heard today that the voice actor has said he has not been contacted about Smash
Yeah,
Bros.
there's no way Goku's in.
But I mean, if he was contacted about Smash Bros, there's no way he'd be able to say it either. So maybe he is pulling people's legs. I don't know.
But Goku isn't a video game character. He's an anime character.
Again, but that's where I come at this as transcending that. You know what I mean?
But see, I see that as opening the door to a whole bunch of problems.
Yeah, exactly. Movie tie-ins and stuff, and that's where people think that Sora might be a problem with Disney, and they, you know, are you gonna put Mickey in it too now? Like, how far can this really go? SpongeBob,
Yeah, exactly.
You know, Marvel. I mean, I talked about having a Marvel characters tie-in, and it sounds so stupid now that I really take a step back and look at this as a gaming thing, but I think people like Goku because he has been in so many games, and it's almost at the point now where this Dragon Ball's over, right? I know they brought it back, but I think the series more or less ended.
No, it's Dragon Ball Super is still going.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I stand corrected, but I know that he's a very popular game icon where SpongeBob isn't as much. Anyways, you're right, but I mean, I do think that okay, so I'm happy. I mean, I don't need those characters in this game. I'm okay with it being games only. There's still a lot of gaming characters to be put in this thing, so. And
Yeah, we didn't. I realized we didn't even talk about Pokemon, but I think it's kind of obvious that a Pokemon rep will be in.
yeah, and you know, I'm not the hugest Pokemon fan, so those always kind of land like a wet blanket for me. So I'm kind of like, oh, cool, but I don't main any Pokemon characters. And the thing that's funny is Pokemon Trainer, like that's he has 3 fighters, but you can just play as one of them. But there's no, I guess Jigglypuff and Pikachu are free. They're not slaves, so they don't have to have a trainer with them.
I don't know.
Well, anyways, I think there's a good. Yeah, I think you're right. There'll be a Gen XY or Sun and Moon Pokemon.
Yeah.
Definitely. But I can also see it being something where Pokemon is a DLC and they choose a Pokemon from the next Pokemon game. Where it's like, hey, they are announcing the new Pokemon, and let's say they usually announce a Pokemon about a year out, especially a new one. So I can see them announcing the new Pokemon in like February, March, and at that same time saying, and here's the DLC character for this new Pokemon from that game. You can play him now. You know what I mean? I mean, that's a kind of a crazy prediction, but I just think...
I don't think so. I think it'll be in the base game.
Yeah, and you know, Pokemon is so popular with people. Okay, now, before we wrap this up, because this is a nice long podcast for people who want to listen to a nice long car ride. You know, they're driving up to the cottage and they want to just hear people ramble on about Pokemon or about Smash Bros. But a couple more things. So, One, where does Smash Bros. Go from here? Like, when this game comes out, what happens next? Where does the future of this franchise go? That's one question. My other question is, are we ever going to see the past Smash Bros. Games get re-released? Virtual console or otherwise, or on an N64 classic? Like, are we going to see that, or is this, do they kind of treat this like this game buries the past one? Like, how does this franchise evolve? Where does it go from here? What do you think?
Well, I think Smash Bros. Ultimate will be the last game for a while. But
yeah.
So I think when they do make a new one, it'll reboot this franchise. I think it'll be the cost or the character select will be way smaller. It'll change the fighting style. It'll change something drastically. I think there's a good chance that Sakurai keeps working on them because he just came out recently and said that if there's the demand, he'll keep working on Smash Bros.
And I saw that, but it's kind of a silly thing to say, right? Because it's like, obviously there's going to be demand. Till you die.
Exactly.
Until you die, Sakurai, there's demand.
Yeah.
And after.
As far as what was your other half of the question?
Just where the series goes, if they'll release the old, if they pretend like the old ones. Yeah.
I think we won't really know. I'm going to say no. But I think there's a good chance we can find out more information about that when and if the N64 Classic gets released.
Yeah, I mean, Smash 64 was on Virtual Console, but it's. I mean, I'm just bringing it up because I've heard rumors of people saying, "Hey, bring Melee back in HD," and if they re-release GameCube games and that kind of thing. And it's one of those things where I think with Smash 64, it's got that kind of vintage quality.
Yeah.
And I think even Melee at this point might have that vintage quality. But I think that Brawl and Smash 4 kind of just lead up to Ultimate. Like, I think Ultimate almost makes 4 obsolete. As much as I loved Smash
and Brawl,
4,
you don't need it. Yeah, you don't need either of them.
Yeah, I mean, in Brawl, I guess it had like a slower paced fighting. It was a slower game, and they're slipping. And I mean, Brawl is probably, other than 64, my least favorite.
You already said that.
Yeah, I already said that. I mean, I'd rank them Melee, Smash 4, Brawl 64.
Really, you put Melee before Smash 4?
Yeah, I think I have to, because you know why? Because it had a more exciting character roster at the time. It had more single player modes.
Okay, good point.
And it had the best controller ever, and I also Smash Melee like was what got me into the series. Like, I didn't really care for 64; it was a little too clunky for me. So with Melee, like, that was really I really started to jump in, and even at first I didn't like it years into the GameCube, and I just remember my friend said, "Hey, you've got to just stick to one character," and I played Zelda. I liked Zelda. I liked it a lot, so I played as Link, and it was funny. I remember playing it and thinking, well, he plays just like he does in Ocarina. And I started to realize that these characters play just like they play in their regular games. And I only played as Link for a long time. And that really got me. And then Link kind of brought me over to play as Fox. And I got really good as Fox. And that really brought me into the series. And I remember, it was really popular in university. People were playing. And I would go around, I'd play as Fox, and I'd beat everybody. So I have a lot of nostalgia with Melee. It's fast, too. It's so fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely think that Ultimate kind of makes 4 and Brawl a bit obsolete. It's kind of like, why would you go back to those when this is just clearly better? Especially Brawl, Smash 4, which doesn't have a lot of its own individuality, I think, compared to Ultimate. Like, Ultimate seems to just take what Smash 4 did and improve it. Mm-hmm. So I don't really see why anyone would ever go back to play Smash 4. It's just going to die with the Wii U, probably.
Totally. I can't, there's no way.
And I agree. I think in the future, Smash Bros. Will. I don't think we'll see one for a while. I don't even think we'll see one on the Switch revision. Like, I think if Switch will probably get a revision or some sort of Switch sequel. And I don't really see a new Smash for like 5+ years. I really don't. I think that they'll support this one with DLC for a while. I think we can see up to 10+ characters as DLC.
Agreed.
So I think they'll really just keep going with it. And I mean, I think that's how it goes. And I think if they ever do a brand new Smash Bros, like, let's say they have a brand new system come out one day, I think they'd sooner say, well, here's Smash Bros Ultimate Game of the Year Edition. Do you know what I mean? Like, here it is with all the DLC that you've played over the years, but it's still Smash Ultimate.
Yeah.
and maybe we'll throw in a new mode or a new character here and there, but it won't be like a brand new game, even as much as Ultimate is. And if they do a brand new Smash Bros, it'll be like 4 characters, totally different, like almost a whole different approach. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't even mind like a Smash Bros that's done where it's, maybe you don't have 4 players, it's only 1-on-1, and much more brawly, intensy. Maybe it has more environmental destruction, break through walls. I mean, I don't know. The other thing I would like to see, though, speaking of fighting games, I mean, I've always said I want a Zelda kind of Soul Calibur based entirely on Zelda characters and locations. But beside that, I think that I would love to see a Smash Bros. Style game that is not Smash Bros. Like, I would love to see, let's say, the Smash Bros. Team take on a Marvel series. I know I think a Marvel Smash Bros would be popular, where it's not. I'm not talking about Mario and Link crossing over with Spider-Man. I'm talking it would just be Marvel characters.
Yeah, I understand.
Or a Star Wars. I mean, I don't think Star Wars would work. But I mean, I think that would be really cool, and I think this, as opposed to something like Marvel versus Capcom, which apparently the last one wasn't that good. I think that the Smash Bros. Fighting style lends itself way better to that cast of characters. You know what I mean? You could have 30 or so Marvel characters. You've got these big open spaces, 4 players. You can have, jetpacks, jumping around. You know what I mean? It's weapons. Yeah. It wouldn't have to be nearly as big as Ultimate, but it would be really popular. And I think that it could literally just take the same engine. You know what I mean? As if it's 30 characters from that, literally just being planted in a Smash Bros. Universe with their own movesets. Like, I think that would be huge, and I'd love to see Sakurai work on that. I think that's more of a dream project, but I think that would be very cool and very popular.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, but we just have to wait and see. Really, I mean, I'm more excited for this game.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think Nintendo almost never works on outside franchises. You know what I mean? Like they're more the one giving their franchises out. I cannot see Nintendo doing an internal project based on someone else's property. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But goddamn, would I love to see? I would love to see like Spider-Man and Iron Man and the Hulk and all these characters, and even like the more rare, obscure ones that Sakurai might like built into this universe. I don't think Marvel's as popular in Japan, but man, that would be cool. I mean, if I was in charge of Disney or Nintendo, I'd be knocking on doors to make that happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
cool.
Any other comments?
Nope. That's all it is I have to say for Smash Bros. I feel like I've smashed out now.
I know. I feel like I don't even need to play the game now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sell my copy.
I'm just gonna sell my Switch. Okay, well, I guess this kind of wraps us up. And for our listeners who stayed with us for this 3-hour chat, thank you for listening. Please let us know what you think. And again, we didn't really touch on this, but this is a podcast we hope to do more regularly. Obviously, we've been gone for a while, but we will be back. We're going to do this now regularly. And let us know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, support us so that we know that you're out there. Leave some comments about what you'd like us to talk about. And we'll be back soon, probably to talk about, the Switch lineup, or we have some other ideas about conversations. So, yeah, let us know what you think, and thanks for listening.
See ya.
This is Pete, signing out.
This is Derek, signing out. Bye.
Bye.